shutout innings for the Blue Jays, and he was backed by a 2-run homer and 3 RBIs from George Springer. Your local baseball team is now 29-41, which is still good enough for last place, and they get to play Toronto again tonight. Chad Tracy told the media yesterday things are looking better for Roman Anthony in his latest MRI, but he has not progressed to hitting yet. The Las Vegas Golden Knights announced yesterday that interim head coach John Tortorella will not return next season. He took the team from third place to first in the division and led them to the Stanley Cup Finals. ESPN reports LeBron James is in active negotiations with the Lakers on a new contract. And at the World Cup, Norway got a pair of goals from Erling Haaland. They beat Iraq 4-1 in Foxborough. Elsewhere, Lionel Messi had a hat trick in Argentina's 3-0 win over Algeria. Kylian Mbappe scored twice in France's 3-1 win over Senegal. And late last night, Austria beat Jordan 3-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. With over 70 trucks on the road, because your clogged drain is their emergency, go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Boston Talk Sports.
Trade Drake May.
We all know what, but we won't say what. Yeah, worst take on these airwaves in the last 24 hours.
We may not take a call today.
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
Yes, I finally shaved my nuts.
and Hardy
Who, me?
Just hanging around.
on 98.5.
Tinkerman, heard about you.
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
That's gross.
Not a great cook, but I do cook.
When I asked him about the sides,
Kick them in the balls.
I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
Blaze Bailey is omitted.
Toucher and Hardy
We're the best friends that can be, my buddy and me.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can, I suppose you would know this already, but if you're just listening now, you can get our podcast wherever. Watch us on YouTube, subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and all of that is available for you, and you can have fun doing that. It is quite a treat and quite a gift to you that all these things are available. John went to the World Cup game last night, which was a real fun one. According to the score, I wouldn't know. All I know is that Iran is number one, along with Russia is also number one. And America is hakp, if you want to quote the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. And he saw Iran.
Iraq.
They're next to each other.
Yes.
And so, anyway, he saw Iraq, the Z of countries.
Right.
And were there a lot of Iraqi fans there?
There were Iraqi fans there.
Did they all have tiger hats on?
No, they did not. They did not.
Okay, that's surprising. And so the idea was that John was going to film himself and make a video because it was gonna. We hoped a big pain in the ass to get there, but then he kind of read the room wrong. You weren't there, Hardy, but he was kind of flossing a little bit that it wasn't hard for him to get in, and then it was like, oh well, then you got no content. Congratulations.
I couldn't create traffic in front of me.
Well, you could have tried harder.
Okay.
You could have thrown down one of those strips that the cops use to get someone out.
You could have taken a really dumb route.
I could have
given us some content.
That's right.
Yeah,
I should have gotten on Route 1. Apparently, Route 1 was a nightmare, and 95 getting onto Route 1 was a nightmare. But because I live in a place where I didn't have to get on either road, I managed to use back roads to get there. It was surprisingly easy in and out last night.
I'm disappointed were the Norway and Iraq fans that they weren't in Boston, that they were actually far away.
The Norwegians were just a happy bunch in general last night.
And the Iraqis were very angry.
No,
They couldn't have thought they were winning that game.
No, although there was some positivity in the first half. It was relatively close in the first half, and Iraq had a couple of big chances they blew to tie the game. So it was only 2-1 at halftime, and Iraq missed a great chance at the end.
Insurmountable.
Usually in soccer, you're right, but
it's insurmountable.
It was relatively close until the second half started.
Yeah. The World Cup now 20 years ago would have bothered me much more. It is bothering me a little bit now because it's like on TV right now. Like it's just on TV, not the games, but just like Walpole. People offering their yards for people to park for the World Cup.
Saw that last night.
And it's like, who cares? That's in Walpole. What story is that? Is that people in Walpole see this idea that the World Cup is infiltrating the area is patently false. It's far away from, unless you live in Foxborough or Walpole. People are letting people park in their lawns in Walpole. Okay. That sounds like something for the Walpole Gazette. That doesn't sound like...
I think it's more of a story when you think about the damage being done to those yards. And you get the road...
Robin Peter to P. Paul, yeah.
You get Robin Peter to PM Paul. Well, you're getting the road contaminant. Oh, my God. I hope you're on a strict watering schedule, and which could be tough due to the drought that we're in. But I hope you're making your money because you're going to be putting it all back into that yard to somehow save it by the end of this summer.
But it's just like I don't know why they feel. I get it. Like the World Cup is a big deal internationally. I understand that, and I understand that. Fine, everyone loves soccer. Just say that. But when when I can't even think of like another event. Like there's stuff going. The city's not being taken over from people from Norway. It's just not.
So I'm about on a no traffic day. I would say door to door to Gillette Stadium, less than 20 minutes. I think I've done it in 18.
Yep.
All right. I have seen not one shred of evidence that the World Cup is in town.
Thank you.
And I'm close. The only thing that I can tell is happening is more news helicopters flying overhead to look at the traffic on game nights.
Yeah.
Like, so if I was in, whatever, Fox, all the local news stations do a good job. They're all good. And especially if you compare them to stations around the country, this is not an insult to any of the local news stations. But if you like Fox 25, there's stuff at Gillette all the time. Like they have big events just by nature of the size of the venue all the time. So the World Cup is the same as like a Bruno Mars concert. It's the same as less than, probably even than a Patriots game. It's just an event that sells out at Gillette. They're like once a week.
There's either one coming or one just happened, an IBM convention at the big Menino Convention Center down the seaport. Something like 100,000 people were in town for that. And like not one mention of it.
Or how about the big convention that caused COVID in the United States? Like maybe that was in the seaport. They could have, maybe they should have made more of a big deal about that than they could have restrained the COVID.
So yes, there is some insistence upon this being a thing where there's not much evidence that it's a thing. But the stories that I thought would get on my nerves, I'm not seeking them now. Seeking them out. I'm not like going out of my way. But the guy who made friends with the Scottish people, as you read this whole thread,
no,
Fred, it's not bad. It's not bad. The same guys who started bagpiping, and all of a sudden he's like, grilling up for him before they go to matches, and they've kind of like adopted him, and they're bringing him along on stuff, and they brought him to a match, and like, that's all right.
Was he like missing stuff? Why does he got to get adopted by strangers? What, you have a head injury? Like, why did people that are in town for a week have to take him under their wing? Like, why does he have so much free time?
He has no friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Sounds
good.
more-
These Scottish people are here. People to talk
It
to.
sounds more sad than anything else. Like, Scottish people aren't aliens. I mean, it's just
He sits home, stares at the wall most nights, and then all of a sudden, look at this.
we finally figured out our
drunk
difference.
people will talk to me.
Now, if there was like some skinhead that had become friends with Hasidic Jews, then you would be like, oh, what a beautiful story. Like international soccer's brought people together. But just being friends with some Scottish people for a week is more sad than anything else.
I like it. I hope they stay in touch.
I don't think they're very choosy
You know
about
what?
friends either.
I do too. How about that? But I don't quite know. Like, wow, like these Scottish people that are so much different than everyone else,
Right?
Have somehow
See,
managed
that's what you glossed over the first time.
Right. Like, I mean, these Scottish people they speak the same language, but very difficult to understand accents. That is true.
With their two heads and their
Right, exactly. And their
Mind
crazy
melding.
beliefs
yeah.
that are so against Western ways. It's like, to cover it as a sporting event, obviously, is very valid. I understand that it's the, most popular thing in the world, and I get that if the United States does well, I mean, that's very exciting. It's like the Olympics or something. Like if the United States does very well, it's exciting, and people will certainly get excited about it. I mean, if they win in that knockout round, it will be a big deal. And I'll be interested. I'll be like, oh yeah, the United States are winning in the World Cup. This is very rare, and so I'm not even being that. I don't even in my mind believe I'm being like contrarian. Like I'm not like going soccer sucks. It has nothing to do with soccer. It's just this idea that it's somehow this crazy thing that's going on in town which is like something that like Kansas City would do. Boston's an international city that's been around for a long time. As cities go in the United States, pretty large city. I don't know.
Are you saying it's unseemly for residents of Boston to be overjoyed at the thought of meeting someone from a different country?
I don't think that people in Boston are overjoyed about meeting people from another country. I think the news just feels an obligation to act like this is a big deal. No. You live in Canton and you said you can't tell what's going on. Imagine being in Newton. I don't know what the hell's going on. And I bet if I went into the city and you passed by like a couple bars, there would be like people insisting that they're from the country that's playing. But other than that, I think you could get around the city without.
What about people on Marlborough Street? They're watching all these Scottish people march past them towards Fenway Park for a takeover. That's unusual. Not a lot of Scottish people in the neighborhood usually.
I want to know what people from Scotland that are in for a week organized to do a march into Fenway Park, and I'd like to know their income and how they afforded to get here, because that's some JV hokey nonsense. If I was coming in if I was going to Scotland to watch some sporting event, I'd want to figure out what's going on in Scotland. I want to get together a bunch of other people from, Nebraska and run around singing country roads.
Let me tell you something. This is all very prescient, Fred. It's almost as though you know about some of the commentary we'll have coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, because one of our World Cup analysts taps into this very notion of the Scottish people and what they're doing here in town and the money they're spending and how they're getting around. That was a big tease, and you didn't even know it. So there will be more of that coming up at 8 this morning. But I agree with you. It does.
Hopefully it's Blind Scott, which maybe it is. Maybe we're sharing a brain again. Yeah. You like that picture I showed you of him yesterday?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
But it is odd that there seems to be, number one, a lot of them. Number two, they're oddly well organized. With the marching and the bagpiping, and they seem to. They can't all know each other. How do they figure it out? How do they figure out we're all going to get together and do this?
It's just I used to go to Jet game out of town every year, And you'd go to a bar and there would be, because like bars by the stadium, no one knows where they're going. So you go to a bar by the stadium and there'd be like a bunch of Jet fans. Told you the story where like, this guy's like, Nick, this guy says he's a Jet fan. And he goes, oh yeah? What's 8 men in the box mean? That literally happened, and I'm like, they, bring the
safety.
Well, John, I know what it is.
Well, I mean, you look like you were reaching for the word. I'm like, all right.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to describe how I talk to them.
Oh, okay, okay.
They bring us. They pack closer to the line.
Bring them up with the line
with the
backers,
ideas to stop the run. And he goes, okay.
Yeah.
And that happened in Nashville. My friend still tells me about it every time. He's like, "Can you believe that dickhead that asked what 8 men's and like let's give him a test." But anyway, if like they were like, "Hey, we're all gonna get together in March," I would be even at 25. Get the f out of here with your March. Shut up. And then I hope someone gets mad at you and you fight them because you're marching like idiots. No, in the stadium, and if you want to be with your people and celebrate and things, that's fun. But the idea that you're organizing a march, that's too mob mentality for my taste. I don't care for that. No, I only march, when minorities move into my neighborhood.
I had that happen to me once when I walked into a store. There was a security guard. I was going in to buy something for my wife because the stores I go into don't have security guards at the door.
Right.
But I was wearing my Lions hat. He goes, wait a second. 2 players, same initials, both Heisman winners.
Well, you said that.
Yeah.
You told me that. Yeah.
I said,
Barry Sanders and
Billy Sanders, Barry Sanders. Where's the stupid hat that I got to buy for $200? Am I okay to come in now?
And what an easy question, like in the long litany of Lions that have won the Heisman Trophy. Like, wow, that's impossible. Like, yeah, I knew it too. Like, yes, if we're in our 50s. Billy Sims was a big deal when we were kids. It's not the hardest question in the world. It's not like what 8 men in the box is that John felt he needed to step in and tell me, that even though I've been doing this since 2000.
You look like you were searching.
Yeah,
you did from over here.
Telling the story.
All right.
Whatever. Maybe I don't know.
All right.
I don't know anything.
He dangled a little piece of string from his talon. That's John's way of throwing you a rope.
Well, I suppose that he was
doing
trying
my
to
best to help out, Fred.
Listen, I know.
Support staff over here. That's all I am.
But when jumping in like that, you make me sound like I couldn't pass the test that the guy was telling me.
He wasn't going to be able to.
Fair enough. Yes.
Fair enough.
If only I'd watch more football. Sean, that's my problem. Sean, go ahead. I don't watch enough. I only watch a horrible team every
The Jets
every
never
play of
do
every
it,
week.
so maybe that's the problem.
No. They're never selling
that's
out.
their problem. Maybe if they put 8 men in the box, they'd be a better team.
Oh, no, they're never selling out to stop one aspect because of their lack of talent.
They never do something dumb and give up everything downfield as a
they never
result.
give up 90-yard touchdowns because they're convinced that they've like figured out what the other team's doing. Sean, go ahead.
Who, me?
No, Sean. You just happened to be named Sean and on the phone.
I'm Sean as well.
Oh. Well, there's another
Sean.
Sean on the phone named Sean Astin. Do you remember him from the Goonies?
Well,
Then you're an idiot.
Oh, no! He was just getting started.
Sean, if you don't know Sean Astin from the Goonies and your name's Sean, you got to know all the other great Seans.
Maybe if you had said from Rudy.
Or Lord of the Rings. Either one.
Or Stranger Things.
No, yes.
He ballooned up. I hope he doesn't have anything physically wrong with him that could get me in trouble, but Sean Astin became very heavy.
Yeah, he's...
Because if you recall from the Adam Sandler movies, like the whole thing was that he lifted weights.
41st dates.
Yeah.
50.
51st dates.
Sorry, what did I say? 51st dates.
Dumb.
Sorry.
Idiot.
I was with my, when I was dating my wife, we were in Aventura, Florida, which is staying at a house that had been bought for her grandmother who had passed away in a high-rise. It was so fun. And we were so bored that we were walking around, and I saw that there was a movie theater that 51st Dates was playing in, which normally you couldn't pay me to go see. And I just wanted something to kill time so badly that I went to that
Yeah.
movie. That just shows you how terrible Aventura is. Aventura, you've been there.
Yes,
It's
I have.
So sad.
It's very sad.
It's Hardy. It's like 50-story buildings. Like
Yeah.
they've taken this area.
In what state?
It's
in
in
Florida.
Florida.
Like it's out. It's quite far outside of Miami, but like it's like geographically like the Miami area in theory. But they've taken this area and it's high rises, like 40, 50-story high rises. They just jammed it all in. It's not even that close to the beach, and it's all people over the age of 70 living in these high rises. Just like it's awful. Like I don't
Night
know
of the
why
Living
anyone
Dead.
would live there.
Yeah.
I'd rather live in Boston. I mean, just because it's warm doesn't mean that you're in an area that's any good. It's like these delis are all jammed with
Yeah.
people that aren't going to tip because they're all 100.
You know the phrase active seniors, Hardy? These aren't active
No,
seniors. These
no.
are seniors waiting to die in large groups. And they all in the morning they go to these delis. It's really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they love to complain. Oh, do they love to complain? Sean's back. Are you ready to
back.
rectify
Hey,
your
guys.
mistake, Sean?
Yes. All right, big man. I'm telling you this now. So I'm here. I was born in Scotland, but I grew up in South Florida.
Do you know Aventura?
Aventura is where all the Russian mob is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're all there.
Okay, so anyway, so I live in Fort Lauderdale.
That's right. Them and all the retired Jewish people. They've all
Yeah,
they've all
exactly. No, actually,
right.
no, that's
They've all gotten together.
Boca is like when you die and you go to Jewish heaven.
Well, I don't like that. That's anti-Semitic. You're 0 for 2.
That's not good.
Did you hang up on him again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't be doing that. That's-
Oh yeah, baby. This is my house.
Who, me?
Hey, Sean. Who, me? Yeah, you, Sean.
I'm Sean as well.
Yeah.
I smell a new open.
Yeah. Well,
That's the
What a
line
gift
from
to
your
us.
favorite film, too, Fred, from Goodfellas. Miami? Yeah, it's nice, but it's like you died and went to Jew heaven. She's saying it to Karen and doesn't know she's Jewish.
can someone Google if the Russian mob is located in Aventura? Because that seems like a
That's
very odd
highly
place.
unlikely.
Now,
that that's
look,
the
I don't
case.
know. I haven't been to Aventura for 20 years or something, but I don't. I'm not positive that that sounds like a place where it's the Russian mob.
The Russian mafia has a well-documented presence in South Florida, with areas like Aventura, Sunny Isles Beach, often called Little Moscow, and Miami Beach, acting as key hubs for Eastern European organized crime.
All right. Yeah, so they're basically just saying anywhere in the 30-mile radius of Miami. Okay, I stand by my point. Maybe it is a Russian mob enclave, but you can't throw everything in there.
There was a big drug bust in Aventura, a multi-billion-dollar cocaine enterprise.
Well, you could hide it in dead bodies because there's about 3 ambulances in front of every one of these high rises, and that's not a joke. And they're just like running shuttle service. In fact, my father has returned to the hospital. He's back in the hospital. Which
I'm
he
sorry to hear
enjoys.
that.
I talked to him yesterday. He seemed all right, but like he's in the ICU because it's his seasonal thing. He's got to go to the ICU.
Gets his ticket punched.
It's always something different, which is good. Which I'm not being sarcastic. It's good that it's like always something different. It's not anything chronic,
Yeah.
but it's always something new. It's always like he's always found a new way to end up in the ICU. And then I knew it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good because my mom texted me a very long text. But the idea that she reached out meant that it wasn't great, but the idea that she didn't call meant that it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
So, and then I was able to talk to him last night, and he seemed like in a good mood, but nothing rattles him anymore because what was going on was pretty gross, and if it happened to any one of us, we would be really concerned. But he's just like, I'm like, all right,
Just the latest.
yeah. He's just like, sure. I've had to self-administer catheters, so I think I'm okay. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
I'm Sean as well.
Toucher and Hardy. 98.5 The
story.
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, bless
you.
Bless
you.
I gotta
Bless
go
you.
home.
Bless.
Wow. That fifth one I was worried about there.
They come in fives.
Yeah.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and
Like a pentagram.
that's right. 5 sides, each one 5 points. Which, all right, Hardy, what's going on?
Well, John Wallach is going to tell us what's going on. I am going to play several of the goals scored last night at Boston Stadium.
Right.
As Norway took on Iraq in the World Cup. And, John, you will break down comprehensively what happened when Holland.
With a Volta on the overlap. And there it is. Erling Haaland meets the World Cup. The World Cup meets Sterling Haaland.
Is he the ponytailed guy?
Yeah, he's the big blonde ponytailed guy. Yep.
Insists upon himself a little bit. With that ponytail.
Striking figure on the pitch.
Yes. You would have appreciated it because he was a little bit like Messi, Fred, the night we went there. Holland is at the very top of the formation. He ran around in a certain area, and then all of a sudden the ball magically would find him.
Messi was like Messi last night.
Hey.
What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. I know what happened yesterday. Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game. What happened? So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Centering pass from the left side, from the goalie's right in front of the goaltender, bounced a couple of times. The defender had a chance to knock it away. It skipped by him, and Holland, sliding, tipped it in with his right foot.
So hot hearing you describe it like that. But Iraq would not go gentle into that good night.
Alamari. And an equalizer. Ayman Hussein. The man whose goal brought Iraq to this World Cup.
I don't know what happened. 39 minutes. I think somebody scored there.
Sounds right.
Who knows?
Yeah, 1-1. Close game in the first half. Iraq proved that they weren't going to get run over. They held their own in the first half.
Until they did.
Yes.
Well, until they...
That was the second half, Fred.
Yeah, but you said they proved they were going to get run over.
In the first half, yes.
Well, wait a second.
You said at the end of the first half they proved they weren't going to get run over. They didn't. They factually didn't get run over. You stupid idiot.
No. You don't do that.
Did you watch the game?
Oh,
I was there.
No. I didn't watch the game.
I was there.
No. Was it even on television?
Yes, I believe it was on Fox National.
Like the Fox network?
Yes, I believe it was.
No, seriously.
Yes.
Wow.
Fox is carrying this, you know.
I watched it in 4K.
33 million watched the Game 5 of that NBA final.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge one. Mm-hmm. So I bet you 3.3 thousand watched the
John,
game last night.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Norway's up 1-0 until
Iraq tied it, yes.
Iraq scored the equalizer in the 39th minute. But wasn't it still in the first half when this happened?
They've been caught out there. A horrible error at the back. And guess who was around to pounce? Iraq plotted their own downfall because you don't want to do anything like that when this man is around. This man is Erling Haaland.
Again, I think a goal was scored there in the 43rd minute.
It was weird. You see it all the time when you watch soccer, the defenders passing the ball back and forth. This guy decided to pass the ball back to his goaltender, but the Holland was trailing it. Keeper, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
And the keeper, instead of going out to get the ball with this big blonde guy you can really easily spot bearing down on him, decided not to, and Holland just tipped the ball past him for a goal.
Oh.
It was bad. Bad error, as the play-by-play man
sound
stated.
like very good international soccer.
Nope.
Sounds more like
it was a horrible error on the Iraqi
like
keeper's part.
Like a Newton youth soccer situation.
Which is something we were talking about, that you don't see that in 10-year-old soccer. It was a horrible mistake.
Sean, hello.
Hey, so how did you guys feel about Scotland coming into town and having a good time?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it drove me nuts.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, man, like, this has been amazing. Boston has been top class. Never gonna turn it down, man. Like,
no, you can't turn it down, baby. When they offer you a cup of Boston, you say, I'll have two.
Dude, we've had a fucking great time.
I don't know what you can get away with Scotland, Sean, but that's 3 strikes.
Has anyone else called this morning?
I really hope.
No, don't answer me. Have we received 3 phone calls from Sean?
I wonder if I hope Sean's not drunk from last night. I really hope Sean's drunk from this morning. That would make it 100 times better. Because if he's just drunk from last night, it's not that funny. But like if he's drunk from like he got up and got drunk, I like.
Yeah.
That I would like. Like what'd you do? I got up at 5:30.
Boston's top class.
Yeah.
You got to take it.
Yeah, it's top class.
Sure.
When they say, do you want a cup of Boston? You go, I'll take 2.
Utah. Give me 2. All right. 20 minutes into the second half.
It's Ostigard! It's just come on! How about that? For making an immediate impact. He's given Norway some serious breathing space in this match.
All right.
John, that's the last thing John wants.
Yeah, more like 30 minutes.
Serious breathing space.
76-minute Ostigard goal for Norway. Maybe
he wants
a late substitution.
Butt cheek restricting his breathing space. Dan, go ahead.
Oh.
I was making a joke about
I didn't know if
smothering.
you were excited watching those Norwegian blonde whites running around out there. Do you think they'd be welcome into your golf club?
No, but what are you asking if Hardy finds the tall Norwegian woman attractive?
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful people.
No, I understand that conventionally, but I don't know if Hardy would find that to be the case. Like a tall, statuesque
I think I was leaning
blonde.
more on the whole golf racist thing as a joke that you guys
Well,
have
Dan, I don't care for that.
Yeah.
We're struggling
Leave Hardy
a little
alone.
bit here. This is good.
No, Dan's a good caller, but
All right.
I thought he was going one way and he zigzagged.
It does go against type, I would say, for me. But as Fred and I have discussed many, many times before, you go to that region of the world and you find the Victoria Silvstedts that are on this planet.
Yes.
I don't care what you're into. When you're presented with a creature of that level and magnitude, you just have to put all your predilections aside and say, okay, that is beauty.
Not just
that
one,
is
many.
perfection.
Many.
That is, yeah, and they're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
If you don't know, Hardy and I didn't know each other and had never had the conversation, but we both had met Victoria Silvstedt, and but we've also been in radio for a long time, so you interview like models and like stuff like that a lot, or at least more than most people. And we both were like, she was almost too good looking. Like
Yes.
It was like overwhelming, which is both of us.
Tough to look at.
Yeah. Like it's too much. That's why she was and then she was a prostitute. Yeah. Which would be a nightmare. Like to pay her for sex would be just awful. Because I would be just like, you got to be so miserable. Unless that's your thing, which is kind of like sick. Like I would never, ever, ever, ever in a million years pay her for sex. Because I would just feel bad for her the entire time. Because I would just assume she was disgusted the entire time. She could have, like, I guess conceivably she could have anyone. And she's like, taking money from me. Ugh. No way.
Yeah. Swedish, though, not Norwegian, but whatever.
Oh,
that's the same part of the world.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. John Wallach was at the game last night, and what was the final, 4-1?
4-1. They got to go real late, 4-1.
And you stayed for the whole thing like a sucker?
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Yes. Kids were enjoying themselves.
Well, were they at least pulling for Iraq?
No.
Not underdog kids, huh? When they go Rocky, they're rooting for Apollo in the first one?
Sure.
The one time we were all together at a soccer match, we happened to see a man who was playing last night for Argentina.
McAllister that decks it on the save. The rebound is Messi.
Argentina with 2. Total control for the defending champions.
So that was Messi's second goal of the night as Argentina took on
Algeria.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 76th minute of that match,
Nico Gonzalez, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi! First career World Cup hat trick, ties the all-time.
It's about time.
Record.
yeah, ties the World Cup goals at 16 after that hat trick in the 3-0 win over Algeria. That was the 11th hat trick of Messi's international career, but first in the World Cup. Also became the oldest player to score 3 goals in a game at the World Cup at the age of 38.
I wonder if he had to move in this game, unlike the game that we saw him in, where he just stood in one place.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people like broke it down for me. They were nice, and they were like, "This is why you didn't move." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you're not arguing that he moved."
No,
like,
he's a tactician. They're all that. You know what?
Oh, I don't doubt that he's incredible. I don't doubt he's the best soccer player of all time. But it was just interesting seeing him live, and just I didn't look at anything else but him when I was watching it. I didn't.
Why would you?
Right.
Seriously.
Like, I mean, we were there for one reason, and it was to look at him.
Yeah.
And so I just looked at him. And he didn't, and I guess maybe this speaks to his brilliance, but he didn't have to do anything. He just stood there. And I don't know if I'm missing much. Like, I know he's obviously, everyone would do it if they could, and they can't. So he's obviously, exceptionally, like, otherworldly gifted. But I would wondered if he had one of those pedometers on him, if he even took 1,000 steps during that game.
Well, you wonder. Let me answer for you, Fred. Yes, you're missing everything. You go online and watch guys playing checkers, and John and I, as lovers of the beautiful game, understand the chess acumen of one Lionel Messi and how you can see him. Oh, just a step to the left. Oh yeah, he sees the pitch 4 moves ahead.
It's the subtle movements in the box.
Yes.
Well, I could figure that when you're not moving and scoring a bunch of goals, I could figure that it might be subtle movements.
Yeah, you can't see it.
No, I can't.
No.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Purposes, it wasn't going to be aired anywhere. But Paul was brief. And, Billy Corrigan played a song, a Kiss song, because Paul didn't want to play for whatever reason. Gene had a family emergency. He couldn't be there, but, prayers with the Simmons family. That's all.
Okay. All right. Red Sox, Blue Jays.
I said my piece.
Red Sox, Blue Jays last night. Some fireworks here.
One pitch to Duran. Shattered bat, little pop-up behind the mound. He can't make the play, and that's going to load up the bases. How about that? I mean, Cease has just had a bit of a house of horrors against the Red Sox. You mentioned the play up in Toronto where he tumbled off the mound.
Yeah. Well, loading up the bases there in the second inning, and they'd all come home for the Red Sox. They'd end up going, oh, no, they didn't score.
Yeah, Fred, bases loaded. How many people scored?
Well, I know the score.
Yeah, that would be none. No, nobody. Red Sox had 12 at-bats with runners in scoring position last night. Anyone want to guess how many hits they got?
10.
The answer is 1.
Oh.
1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. 13 guys left on base last night.
No, instead the Blue Jays would strike first an inning later, and then in the fifth.
Day by day right now.
Schneider with a high, deep drive left field. Forget about this one. It is way out of here. Davis Schneider with his third home run of the season. A leadoff shot here in the fifth inning to make it 2-0 Toronto.
That's not great. This is worse.
Fan had been
another shot. That one hit way back there toward the bullpen, and that ball is gone.
Who's like the
Schneider
super Toronto fan?
Yeah.
Within the mics, not a lot of people at Fenway last night, maybe.
Bullpen, and that ball is gone. And Schneider and Jimenez go back to back. The Red Sox are down 3, and this season it has not been a good spot to be.
Really?
But they do have trouble scoring 3 runs.
Yeah. So down 3, right? Still winless.
3-0. We can all pack them
Seriously,
up and go home.
There's no reason to watch.
At least O'Brien's acknowledging it.
Yeah.
That they're not going to win.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will, having watched more than I should have, he has been brutally honest. The television broadcast has been brutally honest.
Well, that's good because you really need to be, especially when you're talking. I'm so sarcastic all the time, but when you're I do believe when you're talking to the fan base of the team and they're this bad, you do have to acknowledge it, or else you're doing everyone a disservice.
The Red Sox would get a little bit of offense from Jarren Duran.
It was 1 for 4 with runners in
shot to center.
Okay, you know what? He's going to hit a home run here, so why don't you shush?
Nobody in scoring position, though, so this is important.
Yeah, so
1-1. Shot to center. Strong, back, turning, watch it fly. It's gone. Jarren Duran with his 12th home run of the season. Jacks it out of Fenway to center field. The Red Sox get on the scoreboard.
He's going to end up hitting 200 with 22 home runs.
Yeah. He was 2 for 5 last night to raise his average to 214.
He'll have like 65 RBI.
Yeah. Because that's the only way this team scores runs, when there's no one in scoring position.
Big hero.
Late in the game.
Unmovable piece.
Late in the game when it's too late. I mean, that only made it 4-1, but...
And there's a drive, sucked high and deep to left. That one up over the monster seats and gone for a 2-run homer for George Springer.
See, they hit home runs, these other teams, when they have a guy or two on base. So
reliever Ryan Watson, he's usually pretty good, too. Shocking he gave up that home run.
6-1 the final there.
I want to start doing this exercise because I do think it's fun. What's the Red Sox record?
29-41.
Now, who's the GM that you hated so much that needed to get out of town?
I am Bloom. Here we go.
What's the Cardinals record?
A lot better than that.
It's better than 29-41.
A lot better than that.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking.
They're 40-31.
Oh, that's better.
Man.
And their payroll is 7 cents.
Yeah.
And they managed to Like, legitimately, they're paying no one on that team.
It's almost as if working here makes people worse at everything.
Or else you're just so hamstrung and, like, there's no winning. Like, you can't win.
It's like ownership is the problem.
It's like if you're Dombrowski and you win World Series, you're moved because you fleeced the minor league system. And then if you're Chaim Bloom and you're tasked with building up the minor league system, you're fired because you didn't win enough at the major league level. And so, there's just like no winning. Look, Chaim Bloom didn't do anything. He didn't.
Chaim Bloom made one big mistake. We talked about it.
No, but he didn't do anything for the Cardinals except for this Blaze Bailey kid's pretty good, but he's only played a few games.
Blaze Jordan.
Bailey. Sorry, Blaze Jordan.
Lead singer not included.
Blaze Jordan. Listen, he's only been up for a week. You got to give me him.
I understand.
You got to give me a little break there. But I do think it's funny that this team of complete nobodies is that much better than this Red Sox team.
I know. Not just a little better, a lot better.
But it also does speak of like patience with the kids, like with Meyer and Anthony. Like it can take 3 seasons, 4 seasons for a young kid to.
That's the thing when they were bringing these people up, and it was a first guess by us. Look, if you're depending upon these kids to come up and save your ball club immediately, and Roman Anthony is the closest thing to that. He really put together a good couple of months last year, but to expect him to carry your team with less than a year of major league service, that's unfair. And then he got hurt. So now you can't even test that theory, and it sets his development back, however far it is. He's 6 weeks out now. He's at least another 2 to 4 weeks away. And then there's minor league games. Then he's back, you figure, by the All-Star break.
Yeah, I mean, this season's over. It's over. It's over. They're terrible. There's no two ways about it. I don't want to hear it any different. Look, there'll be certainly egg on my face if they turn it around and go on a 30-game winning streak that somehow gets them some credibility, which was about what it would take. Did Breslow get Yoshida, or was before him?
I think that was before him. Okay. I think that was a Bloom thing.
Okay.
Where they wildly overpaid to bring in a DH who can't field left.
If that was Bloom, then that's
I think that was Bloom.
Because that was a terrible, terrible pickup.
And that was, by the way, a first guess by other Major League executives that Buster Olney and all these Major League insiders talked to. Everyone was shocked that the Red Sox gave him that much money.
So Bloom, did make some mistakes. But I just think it's funny that this Cardinal team, who's very likable because they're all kids and they're all like happy, which is what the Red Sox should have been. They should have been this like team that everyone's like together and like kind of like happy in feeding off one another. Look, the Cardinals aren't winning the World Series. They might not make the playoffs. But it is.
No, but it's funny as hell that we are where we are at this moment.
But it is like kind of. I'm enjoying watching them more than I have in years because it's just they're like fun. And they're just kids, but their payroll is so much less. And they have the old general manager who hasn't done anything. He's only been there for like 6 months, but whatever.
It was Chaim Bloom who got Yoshida December.
Okay, so he made a lot of mistakes. So look, maybe he deserved to be fired, but nonetheless, he made some big mistakes at the major league level. Not as bad as the Devers trade. But
he was brought in to cut spending and help the farm system. Right. He did both of those things. That was the Tampa Bay. He worked in the Tampa Bay front office before he came here. John Henry's like, oh, let's do this. And that way I won't have to spend a lot of money on payroll. And it worked. But the kid, he couldn't figure out what to do with the major league roster and by and large left it alone for 5 years.
And that's fair. And maybe he should have been fired. I'm just having some fun because I do think it's interesting that there's a team with quarter year payroll that he's the GM of now that's actually winning. We'll be back in just a moment.
More.
16 before he became famous, so I mean there was a real rough time there. So you figure that the first time things can get real messed up is like 9, and then you got that 6 years of living in Dorchester. I mean, it's pretty wild. And if you count his brother being rich and famous, I would argue that if he's younger than the Don Man, that maybe the wild times in Dorchester were a span of about 3 years.
People actually listened to this song. This was the follow-up from Good Vibrations.
Yeah, but real people didn't. I don't know if anyone with half a brain was like... I don't recall this being met with the great critical acclaim.
No, but this was, we're going to pick this one to follow up this hit.
And look, I don't know anything about Marky Mark's career, but I do question, and he's become like, look, in Boogie Nights, maybe because he was born for the part, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good actor, but in a sea of guys that want to be famous, the idea that he somehow came out of there, I just... I'm very curious what that process was like for him.
Well, let me tell you what the process is. Mark Wahlberg is a grinder. This is a guy who gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who is out there hustling in every aspect of his life, Fred. And for you, specifically you, Fred, this morning, we have a list. We have a list from Mind Matter. 25 side quests to start immediately. Now, why would you do this? So you can be more like Mark Wahlberg. So you can rise to fame and glory in multiple media landscapes. And Mind Matter says this, the truth, you don't need medication. You listening? You don't need a therapist.
Right. I don't need medication.
You don't need a therapist.
I can't afford a therapist.
Telling you to breathe. You need a quest. You need to feel the aliveness that comes from doing hard things, meeting real people, and building something that matters. Pick one quest from this list and start today, not tomorrow, today.
We were talking about this a little bit, and don't worry, I won't get too into the weeds about who we were talking about, but in your radio career, how many guys, like let's go back 20 years, how many guys had big side hustles, and out of them, how long did their career last after the side hustle? And how much money did they lose during their side hustle?
Well, there was the guy that I worked with in East Lansing, Jesse the travel agent, who had a side travel agent hustle that he would try and pimp on the air very subtly by calling himself Jesse the travel agent as a DJ.
I see.
I don't know that he succeeded as an on-air personality or a travel agent. We kind of lost touch.
Yeah, there was a guy in 98X named Surf who had many, many media empire ideas that is now dead.
Oh.
Because, and strangely enough, when you are so unfocused on your main source of income, generally does not work. And I'll tell this to young people out there. If you're looking for the quickest way to lose money, it's to really grind and start your own little enterprises and try to make quick money. That's the bet, and invest in that. That's the because don't listen to people that tell you growing financially is a passive activity, because what do they know? They're just, I don't know, trillionaires. I mean, making generational or making lifetime wealth is a rather passive and boring activity. You save and invest, and then that, compounds, and then you go from there. But nonetheless, what do I know about money?
Well, we're going to
grinding.
We're going to find out what you know about grinding, Fred, and we have broken this into 5 different categories. They are: get out of the house, do something that scares you, build something real, reconnect with real life, and level up your inner world. So, Fred, you can pick any one of these and see if you can guess one of the tips here from Mind Matter for your side quest that you're supposed to start today.
Are they just like habits, or are they things like actual activities that you're supposed to conquer, with goals at the end of them?
They could become habits. Some of them are more goal-oriented.
Is one get up at 4:30 in the morning?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. No, I would say, how about go to a local event where you know absolutely nobody and stay the whole time.
Yeah, just go to the farmer's market.
Hang out.
Yeah, go to the farmer's market. And
Wait a second. Fred, you're absolutely right. Wake up before sunrise and watch it happen just once. It'll change something in you. You got it. You leveled up and you already know what to do.
This whole notion of getting up early in the morning, that it's somehow advantageous, is hysterical to me.
From 3 people who do it 5 times a week, it sucks. Don't do it.
There is a guy, and you know what? We should invest. Ryan, remind me about this. There is a guy that's a CPA in Miami that is in my algorithm, and he's in my algorithm because I'm fascinated by him. He's this little guy who's older than me, and he hires these models in big quotations. I'm not being derogatory when I say prostitutes.
Okay.
And he like obviously he's on a ton of coke, but he's a CPA, and his whole, and then I knew it. He's like, it's 6:30 and I'm in the office. Like, if you guys want to make it, you got to get up in the morning. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not at all. The idea that it's 6:30 in the morning is of absolutely no advantage to a CPA.
Yeah, who else is up to do work with? It's nobody else.
All that can be done at any point during the day, you morons. Just because it's unpleasant doesn't make it any more effective, you idiots.
That's where
we have to get up in the morning just because of the nature of our job. But I can tell you that it is. There's no advantage. I mean, if you like getting your workout in before you go to work, you enjoy that. That's fine.
Right.
But the idea that you're doing that, you doing it at some ungodly hour, somehow makes it more of a more beneficial to you is nonsensical. Especially since, according to this Whoop, I'm gonna die because I don't sleep. You know, maybe because my pace of aging is, I'm older than I should be because of this, entirely because of lack of sleep. Maybe it's best that you just sleep. All right, go ahead.
All right, Fred. We're going to go to the category of do something that scares you.
Okay.
And Mind Matters says, in order...
Getting pegged.
You, sir, have leveled up.
That's number 1.
Yeah, just give it a try. If you can't find a guy, just have a girl peg you.
Mind Matters says you should sign up for a what?
Jiu-jitsu.
Oh!
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu's for losers that... it really is. Like, look, man, if you've been doing it since you were a kid, God bless you. But, like, these, like, rich guys that get into jiu-jitsu... It's covering up so much insecurity and pain.
Sign up,
and I have plenty of that.
Sign up for a combat sport, boxing, BJJ, whatever that is.
Well, I know what that is.
Yeah,
that's to servicing John. BJJ, not necessarily Wallach, but just name John.
MMA.
Sorry to disappoint you.
It's upsetting.
Yes, sign up for MMA.
Yes. 1 class. Feel what it feels like to face real discomfort.
But they don't do that in the first class. Right. There's no way they're going to hurt you in the first class. What are they, crazy?
Sign up to get tagged in an octagon.
Yeah, why don't you just pay a girl to beat you about the head?
I was just going to say, you don't need to get in an octagon to do that.
I got a feeling that if I go to like a real guy, like a real jiu-jitsu guy, like the first session, he's not putting me in holds and having me submit. I'm guessing that that's not the modus operandi for these people. I would imagine that, you know, they kind of ease you into the whole process.
Well, speaking of easing in and things that you're already accustomed to, Fred, there's another suggestion from Mind Matter, things that scare you, to do a what for 2 minutes?
Oh, for 2 minutes? Okay, well, this is interesting. That legit interesting. So it's something that douchebags would do for 2 minutes.
Yes. Or real douchebags do even longer.
Oh, cold plunge.
Yeah.
What is it?
Cold plunge.
Okay.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Do a cold plunge or ice bath. Sit in the discomfort for 2 minutes. Prove to yourself you can handle hard things.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed my life. 2 minutes. Please. I'll just laugh at you while I sit there forever.
Mind Matter wants you to do something in front of people, specifically...
masturbate.
Perform something in front of people.
Eat dog food.
Open mic, street performance, anything. Kill the fear of being watched.
Yes, absolutely. If you really want to boost your confidence, go up there and do open mic comedy.
Or just go down to Quincy Market and set up a little street performance.
Wow.
Yeah, even if you don't know how to do anything, just do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, I really, my advice to everyone is to jump on an open mic and really, with no preparation, and really just see how that goes for you. It's a good way to not leave the house for a weekend after it's over.
Now, Fred, this is something I also fear that you don't do enough of. You don't build something real. So, when it comes to Mind Matter suggestions for leveling up, what should you do in order to build something real?
Install a voice box into the real doll.
That's right. That would fall under the category of learn one skill with your hands. Fix something, build something, make something physical exist because of you.
Microwave a cantaloupe with a hole in it.
No more than 25 seconds.
Or you'll burn yourself.
Start a side hustle with zero investment. Your skill, your phone, your time. That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll be rich in a second. It's just you haven't tried. SpaceX is right around the corner if you etch out an hour a day with your phone.
Just your skill and your phone.
No, nothing requires any investment. No financial investment. Every business is free.
Something that John has already done, something that a lot of people do, but if you don't do it, you should do this as part of your
Get
quest.
stuck career-wise?
No.
Wow.
Something John professes to already do.
Oh, he cooks.
That's right. Learn to cook 5 meals properly, not recipes. Actually understand what you're doing in the kitchen.
Whoa. So what is the advantage of not following a recipe? How is that understanding what you're doing in the kitchen? Wouldn't that be the opposite? Wouldn't mastering a recipe be how you would... Well, so you just make something up and that's a mastery?
Do you have a recipe for your...
John cooks scampi?
Of course not. No, see? No recipe. He knows what he's doing.
Of course.
There's too many ingredients.
Read one book cover to cover this month, not summaries, the whole thing.
Oh, well, come on. That's ridiculous.
You want me to read a book in a month? Come on.
That's ridiculous. Not summaries. Oh... It's not the same to read the summary. By the way, there's books that are like 100 pages long. I mean, what you got to do is you got to read the Pitbull's biography or any of his business ideas.
Fred, it's time for you to reconnect with real life. Do you know any of the suggestions that Mind Matter has for reconnecting with real life?
Well, one actual beneficial suggestion, but I don't know if they do it because it probably doesn't benefit the people that are telling you to do this, is to not, put your phone away for a week. There's no way that's on there.
Actually, sit in complete silence for 10 minutes every morning for 2 weeks. No music, no podcast, just your own mind.
That never happens.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Wow.
It's called trying to go to sleep.
Seriously.
They're really sending the read a book and sit for 10 minutes in silence?
Yeah.
These are, I mean... It's funny. It's like sit for 10 minutes in silence, read a book, and then start a business.
Yeah.
Which would these are all on the same scale of impossible.
There's something else you
read
should...
a book.
There's something else that you should deprive yourself of. Actually, 2 things you should deprive yourself
masturbate.
of for 20... No, that's not...
Oh, okay, because that's a thing in that grind community is no fap.
No, they say fast for 24 hours. No food.
Impossible.
Just water. Prove to yourself that discomfort won't kill you.
Yeah, it's impossible not to eat for a day.
It's impossible?
No, it's easy, is what my point is.
Oh,
is that like a lot of this stuff, and I'm a piece of garbage. A lot of this stuff I can do. I could do it anyway. I could easily go a day without eating. Could you?
Would you help a stranger with something today, not online, in real life, and feel what that does to you?
Yeah, I'd help him peg me. Because better do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm always, the soup kitchening it up.
Oh,
I'm always ladling soup.
Forget about the 10 minutes. When you reconnect with real life, number 18, spend one full day completely offline. No phone, no screen, just you and the real world.
Well, that would be difficult, so I will give them that. That a day without a screen, I would actually think would be very beneficial. Very difficult to do, but very beneficial.
I'm going to
that I'll co-sign on.
All right. So once again, you don't need medication. You don't need a therapist. You need a quest.
If you read a book, look, if you're schizophrenic and listening to my voice, stop with the medicine. Just read a book, you dummy. Yeah. If you have crippling depression and you can't get out of bed, don't worry about the medicine. Just take a cold plunge already. These are the things that solve problems.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who probably liked that song. I even around here, I got to imagine that was met with some ridicule.
It was, oddly enough.
Like Good Vibrations is like an easy song and stupid and like corny, and the video was terrible and super embarrassing, and I'm sure he's embarrassed by it now. But at least that,
see you curl cinder blocks. I don't find it all that embarrassing.
Well, let's see him read a book or sit in a cold plunge for 5 minutes.
Give me a month.
It's like a page a day. No, 30. So what is that? So that would be 30 days in a month. It's a 250-page book. So that's under 10 pages a day.
Yeah. Good luck.
Impossible.
Can't do it.
No. Very difficult to follow a narrative for that long. I mean, you're just going to pick up Ozzy Osbourne's 7th biography and knock it out in a month? I forgot what I was saying. It wasn't interesting. All right. We'll be back in a moment. Let's go over some of this Giannis stuff. Plus, I found like the definitive end of the year top 100 NBA players, which I think kind of circles into this whole Giannis argument.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the list is valid. I look, John would know more than I because he follows the league a lot more closely, but it seems like a fairly valid list to me. And we can kind of fold that into the whole conversation. We'll do that in just a moment.
Whether they end up landing him or not, that remains to be seen. But I think anytime a player of this caliber is available, you would think you're going to go for it.
We are Toucher and Hardy, 617-779-0985. I'm giving the number out because there's actually a very interesting story going around this offseason. I will give Brad Stevens a lot of credit at the end of the season. And every guy who covers the Celtics we've talked to, analyzes the same way and thinks he was being truthful. I really respect the way that Brad Stevens stood up at the end of the season after they lost to Philadelphia in the playoffs and said, look, I wasn't, basically to encapsulate, I wasn't surprised. We didn't play well against good teams during the regular season. I didn't think we were good enough. And you have to agree. Look, this team has won a championship and they were on a big upswing, but since then it's been very disappointing. And the longer I follow sports to this degree, not just one team, I start to see that, when you get older too, you realize like windows aren't forever. Like you get, a top 5 player in the NBA and you best take advantage of it because every year that goes by, it just seems obvious, but you do have to think about it this way. Every year that goes by is another year it's not happening. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes shaking things up is the right thing to do, and you see it pay off. Like, it's a gamble, but you do see it pay off. And how many teams in every sport have we, except baseball where everything's screwed up, but in sports with actual caps and drafts that, teams like, it's going to happen. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. And then they sit there and they just keep the same cycle going over and over and over again. And so it really, you have to ask yourself, when something hasn't been working, how many years does it not have to work for you to make a major change? And that's where the Celtics are at right now. Now, depending on who you talk to, Giannis is a very real possibility. Now, Gary Washburn thinks that they're looking into it, but that might just be more to like drive the price up. Then we had Kevin O'Connor on, and he said that he believes that they're very interested and that they should do it. And we've had people on that think that it's asinine and that you shouldn't even think about it because he's older and injury prone. Even though I don't know how injury prone he really is, I do think that that's a little overblown. I mean, every basketball player, Jaylen Brown included, has injury issues. I don't know if, like, Giannis isn't, like, Embiid. You're not bringing in some, like, broken guy. We can, that's debatable. But he's not Embiid. I mean, you would assume Giannis will play. I don't know. I assume he doesn't have anything that's career-threatening.
Okay. So the first thing I have to say is this notion that it's not working, I gotta change something. If you're just talking about Tatum and Brown, it worked.
Yes, it did
won
work.
A championship 2 years ago. Not 5, not 6. They made it to another one together, which I know.
Do you?
Especially in Boston in the last 25 years, making it to a conference final or making it to a championship game and losing is just looked at as the ultimate failure. But that's ridiculous if you look around at what other teams and other leagues have been struggling with and going up against for decades. So the fact that they made it to one final series and then they won it 2 years ago, I immediately dismissed the notion that doesn't work. Now, the supporting cast around them was much different, and they've had to change that. But to me, the idea of replacing either one of these guys with Giannis is the ultimate in, well, we think this is going to be better. What evidence do you have that it's going to be any better than what you already have? And what you have right now was good enough to where you were the overwhelming favorite to win the East, even though one of your guys had only been back for about 15 minutes before he came back into the season and started playing. I mean, you're willing to blow it up at this point just because they gagged in the first round of the playoffs?
You can't argue, though, that if they get Giannis, they're better at least next year. Giannis is a better player than Jaylen Brown.
When fully healthy, he is, of course, a better player than
Right.
Jaylen Brown. He's easily top 10 and maybe top 5.
Well, he's number 7 according to the
He's
Ringer.
a better player.
Okay.
I don't know to a certainty that the team is better, and then they rack up more wins.
Oh, I think that you'd be hard pressed to find anyone that would say that if it's a 1-for-1 deal and all things are the same, that for one season, not 4 seasons from now, but for one season, they're certainly better.
Assuming Giannis is healthy, yes, they are better next year if you just make a 1-for-1 swap.
Right.
That's how good he is.
And so if you look at the East and look at the league as a whole, and you want to win, Tatum, you want to win in Tatum's prime. The debate is this: is that do you want to win a championship next year and put yourself in the best position to do that, or do you want to ride things out for a longer period of time? And that is there's a real debate to be had there.
But
for 1 year,
yes, for 1 year, Fred, you're right. Assuming Giannis is healthy, he was not healthy last year, even though he wanted to come back and play, and there was debate between him and the team, Milwaukee. The problem is long term, because if you trade Jaylen Brown, you're not trading him for 1 year of Giannis, because that is ridiculous. You're trying to trade him for multiple years, and Giannis is due that massive extension that can be a cap killer.
Okay, but Brown is due an extension, and I'll ask you 2 things. Number one, do you think the Celtics want to give him the extension?
Yes,
I don't.
I do.
See, I don't. And other people, like, which I shouldn't have said other, people that cover the Celtics, not other because I do not, but people that cover the Celtics, there are a lot of them that believe they do not want to do that. And so, but that's neither here nor there. That's debatable. So would you want to extend Jaylen Brown?
Yes, he's not that far down the list from Giannis. He's a top 20 player in this league right now.
He's a top 20 player around in this league, but so for Kevin O'Connor, for instance, said, well, the big problem when you're holding this is exactly what he said, because Fulger and Maz played it yesterday. Mm-hmm. When you're holding 2 guys at max deals like that aren't top 5 players, like both of them aren't top 5 players or both of them aren't top 10 players, you need to have a supporting cast around them that you simply can't afford. And the only way that 2 guys with that kind of salary works is if they're both incredibly elite players. And his point was Giannis and Tatum are incredibly elite players, and you can kind of get away with surrounding them with a little bit less. If it's just a matter of Brown and Tatum, they're both very good, but they both make elite money, and they're just not, and Brown's just not elite. He's a top 20 player, but he's not the kind of player that you can just have 2 guys and go here win. And when they won, they had a crazy-ass supporting cast around them, and that's just not feasible anymore. So that's the argument that Kevin O'Connor made. And if you're looking to where the Ringer ranks these guys, Giannis is 7.
Okay.
Tatum is 13 and Brown is 14.
Okay. And this obviously factors in
Injury.
the entire season, the injuries from last year, the
Right,
playoff runs.
So
Brunson's got to be high on that list, right?
Brunson's 5, but you figure if Giannis was healthy, he would have been in the top 5.
I guess it's the other thing too that I'm not necessarily pushing back on Fred, but I do question like the immediate acceptance that the chemistry and that these 2 are going to be able to play well together, and this one's better than that one, so it has to be better.
Stop shooting threes.
Well,
to that degree.
Well, if you add Giannis, the threes will go down.
Yeah, and you attack the rim, which you saw the Knicks do.
You bring up the fact that you have both of these guys, and Tatum is obviously the better of the 2, and that's just how things go. Again, different supporting cast, but back in 2024 when they won it. Oh, yeah, Brown and Tatum was the MVP. No. It was Jaylen Brown. It was that extra thing in the postseason that for whatever reason, Tatum didn't have it. Brown ended up having.
But it's not like Tatum had a bad playoffs. No one's arguing that Tatum's the superior player. And everything out of the Celtics is that the only guy that's a non-starter is Tatum. That literally the only guy on the roster that is a non-starter is Tatum.
The only thing that I'm arguing is that people don't make enough of what it's actually going to look like, how it's going to play out. You get Tatum and Giannis, and obviously they're going to just immediately mesh and gel and go out there and work in perfect tandem with each other. It doesn't always work.
Well, certainly not, but they also, I don't think they're going to do any worse than losing to a crap team in the second round. I mean, I think that worst case scenario, what happened this year happens again.
That was house money, though.
That is true. Mm-hmm. That was house money.
Yep.
Which is the way they were presenting it all season when they were winning. It was that it was house money.
Here we go.
That didn't annoy you? That the second the game ended, everyone pivoted to how it was house money?
I'm laughing.
When they were all waving their penises around, saying how great they were all season, how no one believed in them.
So
and then this literally the second Game 7 ended, it pivoted to how it was house money.
House money.
And Tatum was 80% all of a sudden. Okay. But by the way, how many people did we talk to? Tatum's a freak. I was expecting him not to be any good, and then he came out and he looks electric. And then the minute they lose, because, I mean, I know Tatum didn't play Game 7, but the minute they lose, they're like, Tatum was 80%. Well, you didn't say that a month ago. You were talking about what an incredible freak he was for being able to get on the court and perform in this way.
Yeah, that's all this stuff that goes back to, obviously, that, to Tatum and Brown. It bugs me. Just this willingness to let go of Jaylen Brown and some of the narratives after that. It's like, yeah, you got to get rid of Brown. He couldn't get it done on his own in Game 7 without Tatum out there. So wait a second.
Well, that's not what I said.
A lot of people said that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, but that's not what I said.
Oh, no. But the people who say that, I'm like, what about the other 3 games they lost where Tatum was out there? They couldn't get it done then either. It's just it bothers me that people are so willing to let Jaylen Brown go. Now, the willingness is obviously accompanied by the fact that he would be replaced by Giannis, and I understand that aspect.
It is a very, very high-risk move. Now, Brad Stevens has proven himself to be excellent at roster manipulation, but this is a real high-risk, high-reward move because you're going to be stapled to that long-term contract extension. Giannis is crowding 32 at the moment. He's played almost 1,000 games.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Brown's this 29. It's not like
no. But I understand. But the roles have been different. Giannis has been carrying a franchise now for a decade. And who knows if last year is the beginning of something or a blip on the radar.
I will end it with this, and it is the dumbest of all my points. But, there's something to be said for it would be fun if they got Giannis.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's the worst thing in the world, that you take a team that's not the most likable right now, and you bring in a guy by all accounts that everyone loves who's a gigantic superstar, and you bring him in with championship aspirations, and you get to go watch Giannis and Tatum play together for a year or two. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Okay. I think that's a point better made for other people because you can be entertained. I know that I can sit there and watch Tatum and Brown for another season and have all the entertainment I need. I don't need Giannis to make the Celtics interesting.
I would go to way more. I would be much more motivated to go watch them if Giannis was on the team. I mean, but I'm no hoop head.
No, you're
no.
I told you it was going to be the dumbest point.
Yeah, you're a real simpleton.
Yeah, I know. I want to be entertained.
Why don't they get LeBron?
Well, no, because I don't like him. Giannis is a nice guy. I don't like LeBron. LeBron has lived in a bubble for too long, and he bugs
his
me.
2 brothers dancing around on that bench? They're going to have to save some roster spots for them.
No, I don't like that. But I do like that he has the power to do it.
I'm just saying Thanasis is going to be here quicker than you can snap your fingers.
I don't really care if Thanasis is on the team or not. It's not really a factor.
Isn't it like Giannis, Thanasis, and Dave?
Alex.
Alex,
yeah. It's Giannis, and then they gave up, and they want to do Americanized things. But anyway, I hope they do it. I don't think they will, but I hope they do. I think it would be fun. And sometimes that's all you need. I'm a little sick of the losing in the playoffs. Which I know they won a championship.
Yeah, they haven't won in 2 whole years.
Pretty bad how they lost the last couple of years, especially with those leads they had
2 years ago. I think is worse than this year.
Either way, I don't know.
It's it's close, man.
Yeah,
they kicked away back-to-back 20-point leads against the Knicks, and then a 3-1 lead against Philly. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Not good.
It's almost like guys, you've had a couple chances here, and no one said they had to win a championship, but you had a couple chances to make an Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, you got two of the highest paid guys in basketball. That's not in a crap conference. It's the teams that were in the Eastern Conference Finals in both years. 2 years ago they both sucked, and this year you had a team that was terrible in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's 3 or 4 teams that were awful, and there's no excuse that you weren't in the Eastern Conference Finals one of those years. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
Ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched.
Fred.
You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
I guess this country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
In 3 times. And was not able to stay on the line any of those times in the 6 o'clock hour.
I'm Sean as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had a couple of different ideas he wanted to share. Among them, the notion that this is great in Boston. You have to, what did he say? You got to do it. You got to take it.
All right, big man.
He had 3 chances.
Yeah, he was drunk.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I'm hoping that he had slept and then he got up and got drunk, because that's way better.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Sean.
Yes.
That's too.
Yep.
I would hope that you got up and got drunk, because it's not as impressive if you're drunk from the night before, this early in the morning, because that means you're out of commission all day, unless you're doing blow, and then maybe you could last another day. When's Scotland play again?
I think they play Friday at Gillette.
Yes.
They need more time off between games. It's mysterious. They need more time to rest.
Yes, they have the 6 p.m. game against Morocco on Friday.
Now, will you be attending that, Jonathan?
I will not. It's one and done for me. That is the only match I will be attending.
Even though you saw the stars in your boys' eyes while they watched what was going on in the field, they saw the ponytailed man run around.
Holland, yes, scored 2 goals for Norway last night.
Now, were your kids wearing a kit by one of those teams?
My one son wore a Christian Pulisic Juventus jersey.
What's that?
Oh, he's a real hipster.
He was. Juventus is a power club
Once he
team
moved to Williamsburg
in Serie A in Italy.
Why does he like that guy?
Because Pulisic is the best U.S. soccer player.
Then why is he playing in Italy?
Because that's where he gets better competition.
Better than the Premier League?
Apparently.
Better than Real Madrid?
I guess. I don't know the ins and outs of Christian Pulisic's soccer career.
Who bought the jersey for him?
I did, because he
So
wanted
you didn't even do any research into why the guy's in Italy?
No.
You just blindly. What if he's a pedophile or something?
I was going to say,
just bought it like
You're right.
you bought your kids some jersey worn by a diddler. Nice going, Wallach.
Now, obviously, I haven't even heard that rumor, but I mean, there's always a possibility.
It could be. Is
My
more
bad.
important point.
My bad.
No, does your son? No, I'm being serious. Does your son watch this guy on TV?
He watches all the World Cup games on TV. He does not watch Premier League every weekend. No, he does not.
No, but does he watch this Italian team?
No, he does not.
Then how is he? I'm not questioning anything about it. I'm just curious. How does he know about this guy then?
He was a fan, became a fan of his when he watched the last World Cup. My sons don't watch soccer religiously, but they're super into
Why
this.
don't you make them? Why are they not watching more
bad
soccer?
parenting is what it is.
You need to get them watching more.
I was going to ask the guy we had on yesterday who played in here for the Revs and some other MLS teams.
Dunseth. Yes.
That, has it changed at all? This whole thing about American-born players and their main goal coming up as youth, or the goal of the parents, is for them to go to college, get their college paid for, at least a portion of their college paid for. And they do that, and the best soccer, many of the best soccer players from this country end up going and playing in college, and there you go, you did it. By the time they're 22, 23 years old, they come out and they want to play on these bigger stages in Premier League or whatever, and they have no shot when you're going up against the kids from Argentina and Brazil, whose parents give them away to a club when they're 15 years old.
More competitive for 6 years overseas.
Go play against men overseas, in your formative years. And you forget about college. You're doing this, and they're just light years ahead in terms of their skill and their compete level.
Well, I've heard that from a lot of people that, follow soccer or cover soccer, is that the U.S. colleges just can't compete like that. That it's not enough of a training ground to compete internationally. that you are correct that it's just not a feeder system. Like it just won't be.
Right.
And I can't remember who told me that, but a guy's all into it. He's like, it just never will be. Like it just won't be.
But and I think the opposite is true for women's soccer, because in other countries they don't have this huge collegiate women's soccer.
Correct. Sure.
So the girls who end up playing here, they go play in college, and that way when they get to the world stage for the World Cup and other international tournaments, they're all set to go because they've actually had that boost.
Same with women's hockey. Is that the collegiate game in women's hockey is so superior to anything else in the world. That's why they're so dominant. Was what we were told during the Olympics. Do you see? I always go with the expert. I sometimes misremember, but it's never my idea. This is all a big blank slate up here. I'm just repeating. I'm mimicking what I hear.
I'd say my biggest value is no original thought.
Exactly. And that, my friends, is how you really stake your claim as a longtime local DJ. It's just keep it really not inventive.
Be very derivative.
Exactly. What's Jim Rome think? Is generally what I do. All right. Well, listen, we've asked some of our friends to, we've been told, I've been told over and over that the World Cup's taken over the area.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no
we
question
found that
about
out
it,
earlier,
according to TV. And we'll ask some of our close friends how they've been experiencing the games.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yep.
Last night, Jarren Duran's homer in the 8th inning with his team already down 4-0 was all the Sox got. They'll pitch lefty Jake Bennett against the Jays tonight. Roman Anthony, meanwhile, has been out 6 weeks with his hand injury. Chad Tracy said yesterday before the game the latest MRI on his star showed progress in healing, but he's not ready to hit yet. The Las Vegas Golden Knights announced yesterday interim head coach John Tortorella will not be back next season. Former first-round pick and current BC star Dean Letourneau is on the list of players expected to participate in Bruins developmental camp at the end of this month. ESPN reports LeBron James is negotiating with the Lakers on a new contract. At the World Cup, Norway got 2 goals from Erling Haaland. They beat Iraq 4-1 in Foxborough. Elsewhere, Lionel Messi a hat trick. Argentina beat Algeria 3-0. France beat Senegal 3-1, Austria over Jordan 3-1, and Robert Kraft has sued the town of Foxborough for illegally charging him $1 million in licensing fees connected with hosting the World Cup. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing. Right now, during their summer promotion, Sports Hub listeners get 10% off the cost of a new roof. Offer ends July 6th. Call East Coast Metal Roofing and never replace your roof again. 844-611-ECMR or eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Actually coaching the game.
Oh, it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
Sports.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and the World Cup, if you don't know. By the way, you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube to watch the show. The World Cup is in town. It is taken over. Everywhere you go, it's World Cup fever, according to the TV. In my limited experiences, basically just in Waltham and Newton as of late, I'm not seeing a lot of it. And so, therefore, it does not exist. But we know that. So we have reached out to people in our orbit, Hardy, to find out what their thoughts are about what is going on in the international contests around town.
And the response was so overwhelming yesterday. We can't get to them all today, but, we'll just kind of spoon feed you a couple of these. And as you said, people in our orbit, we ask them, please just share with us your thoughts, feelings, analysis about anything having to do with the World Cup, whether you're into a certain team, whether you're attending some parties, whether you have anyone in your world who is really, really into the World Cup. And as you can imagine, if you're familiar with some of the people in our world on this show, the responses were varied. And one of the first people we asked was Guy from Machine. Just to share with us his thoughts on the World Cup. He sent a couple of messages back to Nicholas. They needed some help in terms of bringing them to you now. But when it came to just talking about the World Cup, this is what Guy from Machine had to say about it.
I'm just going to take a wild guess, and maybe he encourages people going to the World Cup to go to his bar in Revere. That's just going to be a wild guess of mine that he turns this into a very enthusiastic ad for seeing him at the bar that he works at.
Oh, Fred, you're so cynical.
It's not cynical. It's just I know the man so well. All right, here is the Guy from Machine on the World Cup.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, this hashtag Guy from Machine. Hello! Guy from Machine. This Thursday night at 381 Revere Beach.
Yeah.
No pretext at all. No build up to it. Bam! Here it is in your face.
He's the gay Ray Bork. Everything is Tresca with Ray Bork. He is.
But at least Ray teases a little. He'll answer your question first. No. He's been here in studio. He'll answer whatever questions you have first, but he creatively works his restaurant back into it. This is different. This is like, I'm not talking about soccer.
He's not being interviewed. He just has. He knows he has limited time, so he has to do it.
We didn't contact him and say, tell us about your place. We contacted him saying, tell us about soccer. And he skipped over that part.
He's hustling, John. This is what he. No, not literally.
He's leveling up.
He's not literally hustling. He's working at a bar and he's trying to get people to come into it.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, this hashtag God from Machine. Hello, God from Machine. This Thursday night at 381 Revere Beach Boulevard, Revere. We got ladies night. Prize, raffles, and drink specials. Starts at 6 o'clock. DJ Atron will be playing the music. Also Friday night, we have Pedro, dance music, 80s.
Well, Pedro's going to be there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Right, good.
I voted for him, so it's a whole situation.
Also Friday night, we have Pedro, dance music, 80s, 90s, and 2000 and out. Also, we celebrate the World Cup all weekend.
The what?
The World's Cup. Stuff? The World's Cup.
Oh, I thought he said we will celebrate the world's stuff.
No, the World's Cup.
They'll just have a collection of things that they dance around.
And out. Also, we celebrate the World Cup all weekend. So put on your kilt and come on and dance with me. Well, I don't know if you can do it with me, but you dance with your partner. Come on! And I'll see you there. 385, 391. So
What?
Is he quoting gas prices? What's going on here?
Let him cook.
All right.
They have gone down under 4, so maybe you're correct.
385, 391. So 381 Revere Beach Boulevard, Revere, Mass. Come on down. 381. Oh, sorry. Disregard this post.
Well, all right. Well, we're a little confused about where you work, but nonetheless, you tried your best, Guy.
They're celebrating the World's Cup, Fred.
They are.
So we love Guy from Machine, and yes, encourage everyone to go dance with him. Well, not with him, dance with your partner.
What about the Iraqis? No one's saying. Everyone's so focused, hyper-focused on the Scottish. I find it. What about the people from Iraq? They don't exist?
Oh, you have no idea how focused you can be on the Scottish until you hear from our next correspondent.
Oh,
okay.
So our next correspondent is someone who has got his finger on the pulse of all things happening around the city of Boston, specifically in the North End. Now, he's been known to venture over to Newton from time to time.
I was wondering why this was long.
Well, this is not as long as it was.
Did we get a nude photo from this person from the top up yesterday?
I had to call him.
Oh,
does he have your number now?
And record him.
Or did you block it?
Blocked it.
Yeah, good for you. That was a smart move.
I blocked it before I called him, and he spoke for about 8 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Give it the best 3 or 4 here.
Well, if anyone's going to be, I've inferred who you're talking about.
And by the way, 8 minutes without coming up for air.
Well, he's a professional caller. So if anyone should be a ambassador for the city of Boston, it would be Blind Scott.
Yes.
I mean, but despite being blind, he knows the he knows the North End like he knows his own breasts. He knows it very, very well. And here he goes.
This requires no dressing up. This is just, we need to examine this bare bones under a microscope. You know, no fanciness, no bells and whistles. This is just Blind Scott.
I didn't expect the World Cup to have an influx of people, so I was celebrating Pride just on my own.
He didn't expect the World Cup to have an influx of people.
But he was celebrating Pride on his own.
Correct.
Just in his own apartment.
Yes.
How excited was he that you reached out to him to talk?
I emailed him, and then I had other stuff to do yesterday. He emailed me back 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready. He's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
Really stoking the flames here. You reached out to him, which is unprecedented Blind Scott behavior. Yeah. He must have been over the moon.
He was great.
You might go to heaven for reaching out to Blind Scott.
I've had him on the golf show before.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you just ask how blind people play.
He used to play.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh, sure he did.
Yeah. You really did have him on the golf show, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, dumbass. Of course he did.
It's years ago before I really had the full Blind Scott experience.
Well, I think Blind Scott maybe wasn't where he is at now years ago. I think this has been a kind of building as time goes going on.
I didn't expect the World Cup to have an influx of people, so I was celebrating Pride just on my own. But all of a sudden, all these World Cup fans came in, and I recognized them as fans from Scotland, but they were wearing kilts. And I didn't really recognize that they were wearing kilts, but everybody said they were wearing kilts, and they seem to go to the bathroom wherever they feel like it. And
yeah, so he's too blind to know they're wearing kilts, but he's very aware of where they're going to the bathroom.
Wherever they feel like it.
Which has got to be duties, because, I mean, you can't smell pee from far away. Again, why is it only Scottish people? What about Norway? I think we're turning a blind eye to Iraq and Norway.
Blind Scott will work in a couple other nationalities.
I like that.
they had like an army that was here with them, and I didn't understand this army, but they were over in the Navy Yard, so it was making me really nervous because I never seen a soccer team bring a military team with them, but there was drunks like out till 3 a.m. They kept the bars open till 3 a.m. So I actually have emails from city council people that I email all throughout the night.
That's good, Blind Scott. Really start getting on their radar, because I'm sure you've done nothing wrong. You know, really start complaining about the behavior of others. Because we do know Blind Scott's run afoul of the law before, because he sends literal legal documents. You know, so maybe it's best he not get on the radar of people when others are misbehaving.
Because I stay up all night and I walk around the district listening to these Scottish people. They are so friendly. So I'm familiar with Scotland because it's a progressive country. It's pretty liberal over there. I have over like 25,000 followers on social media. So I have a lot of Scottish people that follow me. So I knew they'd be friendly to me.
So
he's got Scottish people.
So he's got as many followers as I do, basically.
Yes. Also, Blind Scott is convinced that the Tartan Army is an actual military wing as opposed to a group of Scottish soccer supporters.
I didn't put that together. I'm sorry. That's on me.
Scotland helped in Iran, and you saw during the Iranian conflict that they were wearing kilts.
Yeah.
That's how you knew they were Scottish.
Yeah. But
the paramilitary for Scotland.
There'll be more references to this military wing of the Tartan Army that's in town. That made him very nervous at first, and it makes him nervous for other reasons going forward.
Well, it's very silly because when they paratroop into places, their kilts go over their heads.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can see their undies.
That's fun.
So I've been partying with them like crazy.
No, he hasn't. No. Partying by them by looking out the window and hearing them.
I'm like crazy. I've been in their hotels. I've been, sleeping with them. I've been giving them massages and everything.
I believe every word of that. Yeah. They are drunk.
But one thing that's been the most interesting is all of a sudden they've been really on a lot of blow recently, and I've seen them all over the city looking for blow. So I'll walk out of my apartment, and they'll be like, "Do you have any blow?" And I'm just like I'm so taken back by this because everybody has moved out. The college kids have left and they're changing over. So it feels like I'm in like another country or something. So I'll talk to them because they're really friendly. But I go to Friend Street over to the marijuana dispensary, and the whole Tartar Army is in there. And I don't know how they can smoke weed because they're in the military, but
the Tartar Army allowed to smoke marijuana even while on duty.
And they're all battling bad teeth, tooth decay.
Well, listen, the Gordon's fisherman needs protection, and that's where the Tartar Army comes into play. I'm looking for some blow. Well, I could massage you in your hotel room. All right. Come on.
They're singing and doing all types of stuff, and they've actually begun to bother people in the city of Boston now, but they've spent so much money. I've never seen a group so prepared to spend so much money at, like, the World Cup fans. I do know about the Cape Verde population because I grew up in the North End, and the Cape Verde population has always worked in the laborers union.
It's Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Yes, we told this yesterday.
Cape Verde, when they won in Haiti, too. So the Haitian population, at one point, Boston was like 52% Haitian. So I've been hanging out with a lot of Haitian people.
It is true.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Did you know that Paul Revere, Haitian by descent, And you'll recall that the Boston Tea Party.
A lot of people thought that Boston was, maybe at one point 52% Irish and maybe close to 30% Italian. No, Haitian, according to Blind Scott.
Well, he lives in the North End.
Yes.
Which, I mean, you can't throw a rock without hitting a Haitian restaurant.
Well, he's spitting facts here, and at one point Boston was 52% Haitian.
Yeah, but that was 1600s. I mean, we all know the Mayflower, cruised on up from Haiti and got it done that way.
Too, like throughout this month, and like if you've seen, like we've been dancing over in City Hall with Haitian people during their games. It's been so much fun, but I haven't taken in any soccer at all. And a lot of people just ask me where they can get blow, or there's people stumbling around drunk throughout the night, like all night long, like just can barely stand up. And, it's very exciting and captivating because it's a different culture in the city. So I'll be over like on Causeway Street and it's usually just wrecked, like drug addicts, just completely wrecked. And now it's Scottish people just roaming through there asking if anybody can get them any blow. And it seems like they've been up all night and they've been drinking for like a week straight. And I think the last game is Friday, but they could be here till July 19th. I have no idea how they're going to afford this, but they do seem pretty thrifty. They're staying in Airbnbs around the North End.
Well, I mean, he would know. He's massaging them in them.
I thought he was massaging them in their hotels. Wait a second. Point of order, Blind Scott. Are you going to their Airbnbs for the massages, or are you going to their hotels?
So what are you, like, you're the big fact checker now for Blind Scott?
Well, I want
Just suffice it to say, they ask for blow and they end up with a massage. A nice massage in their hotel room. From a blind man.
So they're just walking around the North End, just roaming around the North End, talking to each other. But this is a huge event because they haven't won a game in 20 years. But these Scottish people, they're so friendly. They're not angry drunks. They're wearing basically dresses, walking around the city with no underwear on.
Of course.
Feels a kinship.
When in Rome.
And it's just been...
or when in Haiti. Boston originally called Little Haiti.
Well, the Little Port-au-Prince.
Right. You can just tell by the names of the towns.
Yeah.
Yeah, Port-au-Prince and whatever other Haiti words there are.
That's the only one I got.
I'll never go, so I wouldn't know.
Basically dresses, walking around the city with no underwear on. And it's just been a huge thrill for me because I love this Scottish culture, and I haven't had to go anywhere for it. You know what I mean? I can stop talking now.
All right. Well,
wow, a master class on how to welcome people to your area.
Mike, hello.
Good.
Mike, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, sorry, I was talking to my neighbor, which is not Blind Scott right now, but Blind Scott is my neighbor, and I have bumped into Blind Scott a lot. We've never walked around giving cocaine to Scottish people, sadly, but that sounds like quite a night.
You're lying, sir.
I'm not, but I have gone out, and during the USA game, two Scottish guys have come up to me and asked to see my wanker. As they say. They just apparently just go around and just whip it out to each other and laugh, which I find hilarious. But I like the fact that alcoholism and nudity is just socially acceptable all of a sudden because they wear kilts, but it's hilarious. And if Blind Scott, he contacts me all the time, just like he contacts you, if he wants to show me the ropes of all these guys getting massages and asking for cocaine, I'd love to follow around and document.
Yeah, I would like you to be our legs on the ground for that. If he's indeed, now it doesn't sound so. If they're asking you to see your penis, maybe he is giving massages. Well, that means penis, correct?
I mean,
I don't know in Scottish.
I have bumped into Blind Scott, and we have talked. I meant to tell you guys this once, that he said that someone was trying to fund him to be the fourth for Felger and Maz and their Who's Your Caddy tournament, and I can't believe that wasn't accomplished, and I'm really upset about that.
Well, you would have to bid $11,000, which
we
I
had
think
that
is
panic 10K bid.
Yeah,
so
a bit pricey for a gag.
For a gag, but that would have been just the best. If he was with them for 5 hours, it would have just been the greatest. Because if he was with us, it would have been like whatever. But with Felger and Maz, it would have been, I think that we could handle Blind Scott for 4 hours. I really, truly do. Felger, that's what you got to see. Because he's no Kennedy. And that's the only people he has time for, that Felger. All right. Well, look, Thank you, Guy from Machine. We appreciate having boots on the ground. And Blind Scott really is immersed himself. I take it back. I guess the Scottish people have taken over the
Just want
North
to bring
End.
something up about Fred Toucher.
Yeah.
On the Toucher and Hardy show.
Yeah.
You know, he has these Yatra clowns that he likes to collect.
That's right.
Right. Thank you. And by the way, Blind Scott constantly telling me of his fantasy of saving my life.
Fred Toucher, he's a single guy.
Yeah. Blind Scott's on the case. Believe me, we're in constant contact. He's finding me someone very soon. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Jen McCaffrey's got a good article about a year ago, the Devers trade went down. We'll talk to her about her article in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, those scam.
and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Rafi, anytime you take Rafael Devers out of your lineup, you're taking out a massive weapon. While we made that trade for a variety of reasons, it does impact this offseason, next year, the year after that, because you missed that bat in the middle of your lineup.
Red Sox beat writer for The Athletic, and she writes a lot of great stuff. But today we are focusing on an article she co-wrote about the Devers trade, looking back on it a year later. And when you look at it, the thing that's the worst about it is interesting and a little unexpected, in my opinion. But let's have her.
There's a couple things too. I want to see if she agrees the worst parts of this.
Yeah, it's so inept on so many levels that it's really crazy. Jen McCaffrey, hello.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. Good job on this article. Very interesting.
Yeah, this was fun to read about because as much as we complained about it and scratched our heads about it at the time, number one, it's odd that it's been a year. And again, just to kind of have the scab ripped off a little bit and go into some of the details of this again. Did you find the same thing when you were a researcher? Like, oh, yeah, they thought this and it turned out this way. Like, were you just scratching your head all over again?
Yeah, I mean, I think, a year later, we thought things were going to be much different with this team. I think we thought they were going to use some of that money to get another bat, that the team would be better overall coming off, that playoff appearance last year, and the fact that even Devers himself isn't producing as well as, he historically has over in the Giants. Yeah, I think there's a lot of elements to it that are helpful to look at like a year later and why the organization is in the position it's in currently.
Okay, so, obviously at the time it was very controversial. Just right off the bat, was the fact that there wasn't communication, could this trade have been avoided if Breslow was a better communicator and they had dealt with Devers in a different way, in your opinion?
I think so, yeah. I mean, part of the whole process of the trade was that, they felt that Devers wasn't going to be, really a team player and move over to first, but they kind of jostled him around in the beginning of the year. They didn't really tell him until the very end that they were in the Bregman negotiations when they signed Bregman early in spring training last year. And then, had Devers move off of his third base that he'd been almost the entirety of his career. He was frustrated by that, and then he sort of relented, obviously. And then Tristan Casas has his massive knee injury in May, and they want him to move. They want Devers to move to first, and he basically said no. He was sticking at DH after they had asked him to do that. So it was kind of rehashing a lot of kind of reminding people of all of that drama. It was drama, and I think they had evened it out, but then the Casas stuff sort of reflamed it. John Henry flies out to Kansas City to meet with, to meet with Devers. That happened too, and that was sort of writing on the wall and leading up to all this. But I do think, the communication aspect of it was extremely poor and definitely could have been handled differently. And I think Breslow admitted that. One of the big takeaways he had from the whole thing was that he messed up on that end. Now, I don't know if he necessarily has learned a ton since then from that, just because of, other communication issues that have cropped up. But at the same time, that was a huge factor in why this all went down.
So he's got charisma. Jeff.
Yes,
so,
correct.
He has learned his lesson in that case. But so look, like as you mentioned, Devers hasn't been good this year. Obviously, the Red Sox weren't able to keep Bregman, Anthony, whatever the wisdom of taking a 21-year-old kid and revolving your offense around him. It doesn't really matter. It's a moot point because he's been hurt. But the thing about your article that is the most interesting, in my opinion, is what happened with all the prospects and all with the pieces that the Red Sox got in the Devers trade. Can you kind of take us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the trade itself, they got some solid returns. I mean, Kyle Harrison is a tremendous pitcher right now in Milwaukee, though.
When you say tremendous, explain. Are you saying he's an all-star caliber pitcher?
He's probably going to make the all-star team.
Oh, that is good. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Now, who'd they trade him for?
And he was someone that, they felt that they could trade this offseason because they had all this pitching depth, and now obviously they've had all these injuries, and he surely could have helped them. They traded him in the Caleb Durbin deal, and obviously Durbin started off the year really struggling at the plate. He started to turn things around, but that trade is, not looking the way that you certainly would have. They also sent Shane Drohan, another pitcher that's doing well for Milwaukee over there, and also David Hamilton, an infielder. So that trade was not great, and that one happened right before spring training. But they also traded, in July, one of the top prospects that they got from the Giants is outfielder James Tibbs. They only had him in the organization for about a month, and they shipped him to the Dodgers for Dustin May, who, of course, struggled mightily last year as sort of the main trade deadline acquisition for the Red Sox. He really had a tough, stretch of the Red Sox end of the year, an injury. Then he signed as a free agent with St. Louis, and now he's pitching very well out of the St. Louis rotation for Heimblum. They got Jordan Hicks, who was a reliever that also struggled really mightily for them, and was released or became a free agent this offseason.
Okay, so the guy they kept, Jen, is Hicks, who was worse than probably any replacement reliever that they could have gotten and put on the team. And then the prospects that they've dealt for nothing. One is an all-star caliber pitcher for the Brewers. One is in the Dodgers organization and raking in AAA. And another is a very competent major league pitcher. That's the synopsis of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, yeah. And, I think one of the things that the Red Sox and Breslow pride themselves on is sort of like prospect evaluation or player evaluation. And, yes, they got a solid return for Devers, but then flipped most of those guys. There's still one player in the organization, but he's a single-A pitcher. Didn't get the returns to help the current team. So I think that's one of the biggest, black marks on that trade is that they didn't, get the return or didn't, kind of use those assets in the way that they could have.
I want your opinion on this, Jen. If the Red Sox had not traded Harrison, who, by the way, couldn't make the Major League roster after they got him last year, do you think he would be having nearly the amount of success here that he's currently enjoying in Milwaukee?
That's like kind of the $1 million question. Or would these guys have been as good as they are now, in their current organizations if they'd stayed with the Red Sox? And like you said, last summer, Harrison was in Worcester almost the entire time after the trade. He only came up in September. They called up Peyton Tolle and Connolly early before Harrison. And Harrison had pitched already, had been a big league pitcher for a few years. So it's not like he didn't have any experience. He kind of was up and down with the Giants, and Red Sox were trying to retool some things in his arsenal and came up at the end of the year. He pitched okay at the end of the year, but didn't really have much of a runway. And all offseason, we just assumed he'd be in the mix for the rotation. But, there were other guys ahead of him, including Tolle and Early, were kind of also in the mix, and then gets traded right at the, start of spring training. The Brewers kind of, peeled back some layers and kind of simplified some things for him. And it doesn't sound like there were these massive changes for him. So I'm curious if it was just maybe the Red Sox were trying to do too much with him here. I think that's something they need to do a little self-evaluation on of why couldn't we get this, out of this guy? And same thing with Dustin May. Why couldn't we get, what he's doing in St. Louis now out of him, last summer? So I think there's definitely some evaluation on their part of what they're missing and what they need to, do better going forward, especially heading into the trade deadline.
Yeah, May with a one-hit shutout a couple nights ago where he had a perfect game going through seven. So, or into the seventh. So, who gets fired first, Posey or Breslow? Posey's the general manager of the Giants. Or do both of them keep their jobs? What is your opinion?
I mean, I think at this point, I feel like Breslow's going to keep his job through the end of the year, but I can't imagine, if the team is still in sort of the position missing the playoffs and, not doing much at the deadline or end up selling off at the deadline, that he'll keep his job. I feel like the Red Sox have historically, this is the other thing is that he's in his third year of his, contract here or his time here, and his three predecessors and Charrington, Dombrowski, and Bloom were fired in their fourth years, so he doesn't have too much more of a runway either. So I feel like, this is kind of the last chance to sort of, for him to make his mark as this trade deadline. And, he's almost got his back up against the wall. So, I can't. It seems as though, this is the final straw, and they've fired their previous two, heads of baseball operations in September. So if they end up following that same track, that's sort of what we can expect if the team is still in the same position. Now, if the team is gunning for the playoffs because the AL is so, topsy-turvy and there's so much mediocrity and, they're pushing for it down the stretch, maybe it's a different story, but it really doesn't look, obviously, as we've all seen, this team can pull that together. But, stranger things have happened. So all that to say is, I think September could be a deadline if the team still looks like the way it is now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be wise if you have a 400 winning percentage and you sneak into the third wild card spot with a chance just to get blown away by a far superior team. You keep what you got.
Yeah.
You don't want to go crazy selling.
Yeah, he's not going to. And if the plan is to get rid of him in September, he's not going to have a chance to do much by the trade deadline. Yeah. They're going to just tell him, no, we're fine.
Well, okay. Jen McCaffrey, it's a great article, and it really puts into perspective just how terrible the deal was for both teams.
The math was off. I like that. Their math was off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can read it in The Athletic. Thanks, Jen.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate it.
The most damning thing is Kyle, and I'm convinced Kyle Harrison, if he was here and was pitching for this team, would not be nearly as good as he's been in Milwaukee. And they couldn't get him out of the minor leagues to pitch here last year after getting him. And he was a major league pitcher for San Francisco. It is remarkable how bad this organization is at evaluating its own talent.
And why is Milwaukee so good at it? Right? Because they have to work on those margins. And
Milwaukee had the best record in the National League last year.
And their staff is ridiculous. It's not like Harrison's on some crap staff that, he just happens to be lucked in to, he's okay and that's good enough to make him the all-star on the team. I mean, they're loaded. The rotation is loaded. I mean, they got a kid that throws 107 every pitch.
He may start for the National League in the All-Star game, that kid.
Right. And so, look, terrible. Both ends of it. But I would rather have Devers in with the notion that maybe he gets it together.
Right.
Because he wasn't bad last year.
That's right. And Devers is a commodity that every team is searching to find. An aircraft carrier bat to park in the middle of your lineup that scares somebody. And ever since they lost Devers, they've been doing it with, smoke and mirrors. It's remarkable how bad this team is, top to bottom. I can't. How did we get here?
I don't know, but the notion that they somehow won't be selling at the trade deadline. If you're a Red Sox fan, that's got to just make you crazy. God. I mean, the American League's really bad, but they're 5.5 out of a wild card spot. They're terrible. What makes you think, in any way, shape, or form, that team could do anything if there was some kind of natural disaster and everyone got hurt on every other team and they made the playoffs? Who are they beating in the playoffs?
No one. They can't score runs against just average pitching when you're facing the best parts of the staff.
They can't drive in
opposing teams.
Runners with runners in scoring position.
You're going to score even less runs. It's just it's a ridiculous.
Can't win at home. I mean, my God.
And it's not like Crochet comes back and then you're like, okay, now everything's solved, because it doesn't matter, because Crochet comes back and now what has he got? He can only give up 2 runs a game. Yeah. He's got to have a sub-2 ERA.
Problem's still there. Yeah.
I mean, it's the pressure on these pitchers is absolutely ridiculous. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox are beaten by Toronto at Fenway Park 6-1.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
It was Friday night at the Xfinity Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. It's, of course, the famous Black Crowes song off the album with the female pubic hair on it. I didn't ask you to play something by him.
Hell yeah.
I was just making fun of you for not doing it. Stupid. Too late now.
Now we're rocking.
Okay. So Dundero had a post there.
Yes. Yesterday morning, Mark Dondero tweeted, can confirm through a source that Christian Gonzalez has purchased a home in Walpole. He's staying in New England.
Right.
The commentary that followed up was less than kind to Dondero, including, he'd never want to part with a $2.2 million home in a prison town.
Walpole? Yeah, Walpole's where the big jail is. It's pretty infamous.
You do know houses get bought and sold all the time, usually for a profit.
Oh, boy.
Can confirm Mark Dondero was late on this confirmation. I mean, the fact that it was all, out there the day before, whatever. It is more a question, do you believe that the Christian Gonzalez reported purchase of a home in Walpole proves that he's A, staying in New England, and B, I think more to Fred's interest, if you were due a ginormous contract, would you buy a multi-million-dollar home in Walpole?
So he will be the highest-paid corner in football, no matter who he plays for. So say he has bought a home under the knowledge that he is going to be making, what is it, John? How many million a year?
35-ish.
Okay, so $35 million a year. How much of that do you think is guaranteed? All of it?
Most of it.
Or most of it.
Most of it.
So say you're talking like well over $100 million. Like well over, meaning like $120 million.
Yeah, four year sense, right?
So,
yeah.
And I've also just made, over $10 million. Well over $10 million, tens of millions of dollars already. So I'm sitting, Hardy, if I'm doing my math right, at about $200 million in income. I'm looking at Zillow in Walpole, and certainly there are nice houses, but if you now this is only Zillow, but there is we're talking hovering around the $700,000 to $1.1 million range. I'd say around average. Yeah, not a lot over $1 million, and the stuff that's over $1 million is like 1.4.
Well, if you slide that little Zillow price thing over, you're going to see.
No, I have it at infinity.
Okay, you're going to see plenty of 2.4, 205, 215, 2.48. I mean, there are expensive homes. It does seem, at first glance, it's like, wow. If this is the case, he's going to be getting a lot of money. He's bought a house in Walpole. I guess my question would be, where else do you want him to live? Like, where would you live if you were playing for the Patriots and you're going to get this huge contract and you didn't need a $10 million mansion anywhere? You weren't even interested in having that and dealing with it. You just wanted to buy a really nice $2 million house. Where would you buy one?
Pawtucket.
If you're not going to take this seriously, Fred.
He's not.
Well, I don't know what's around there. I guess Walpole. I just seems like if you were worth over $100 million, that if you were looking to buy a home, even to live in for a few months a year, you would choose something that was, I don't know, $4 or $5 million, $4 million. I mean, I don't know how frugal it is at that point. Where frugality is, like, I'm not saying you have to buy a $20 million mansion, but houses in Massachusetts are expensive. So it's not like if you spend $3 million on a house in Massachusetts, which by the way, I don't do, but if you paid $3 million for a house in Massachusetts and it's in a nice area, you're not talking about some crazy ass mansion. I mean, you're talking about a 3,500 square foot home in like Weston or the non-Newtonville area of Newton.
Sure. The good side of the tracks.
please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Got it. Good side of the highway, actually. But yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't be on that side of 90. You're touching Waltham.
I understand.
Come on.
Of course.
So, and my point would be this: is that if I don't know if I had someone advising me with money, which is what I would lean on if I was Christian Gonzalez, I don't know if they would go buy the most expensive house by a lot in Walpole. Like the resale on this is going to be off the charts because the limited amount I know about real estate, I do know that buying the most expensive place in an area is generally a bad idea.
You don't want to be the nicest house on the street, much less the nicest house in your entire town.
Right.
Yeah. That logic would follow.
So and I'm not even trying to be a party pooper. Like you ask me where I would buy a house around there, I don't know the area well enough. But just by what's listed in Walpole, not Walpole. But I'm talking about if I'm worth over like $130 million. I'm not talking about being normal. I'm sure Walpole is a fine place to live. I'm sure I've been there. But it's like everywhere else. Like I didn't think Ernie Bach Jr. would buy every house in Norwood to build some ridiculous compound that I've been to.
He's got those green giant arborvitaes. You can't even see past it.
Oh, no. It's the swimming pool, the indoor swimming
that
pool
everyone
that I
walks
like.
into by accident.
I know.
It's not indoor. It's half indoor.
Half indoor, but you had one of the people fell in during the party.
And I guess that happens more often than you'd think.
You pull out of that Wendy's and bang a right, and you're like, oh, look over to your left. That's right. It's behind those trees. I can't see it, but I know he's there.
It's crazy because Ernie Bach Jr.'s place, because he used to have these parties, like Scott Weiland played at one of them, and Leanne Rimes played at one. I've been to it twice, years and years and years ago, 18 years ago, because Mile was a baby at one of them. And you are driving through a very middle class, like industrial area because it's the Auto Mile. It's like where all those auto dealerships are.
Oh yeah, you can walk to that Wendy's from his house.
Yeah, and like literally right behind there, where they're modest middle class homes. Norwood's I know Norwood very well. Not a bad place to live in the least, but to have a $100 million complex off of an industrial road behind car dealerships in a neighborhood where every other house I would imagine is around $500,000, that's odd. And I don't know if you'll see that many other places in the country than what Mr. Bach Jr. has gone. So maybe Gonzalez has been inspired by that.
Yeah, easy commute.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know anything about Walpole. All I know is good for him, I guess, if he bought a house that's 5 times as expensive as every other house on the market in Walpole.
I would say 3 times the average, if it is around the $2.5 million mark.
Well, that seems like brilliant mogul-type behavior. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel's Super Sub, if your player is subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet...
Country radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? Take acid? It's unbelievable.
Like you, Fred, I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
Hey!
What are you doing?
Tired old Fonzie.
New character.
Yeah. Come into my office. I got irritable bowels. Richie! They're not giving me the pension from the shop. There you go. That's old Fonzie. Yeah, you stick with it. I'll workshop it. Don't worry. By the way, I made a grave error, and I did not give away the Black Crowes tickets at 8:55.
Well, you're too busy coming up with that new character.
I know.
Who could blame you?
Yeah. And I hope the company understands that when you deal with genius like this, you're not going to get everything in a conventional manner. Okay? I'm being inventive. Caller number 10 to the contest line at 617-931-0985 will score a pair of tickets to see the Black Crowes Friday night at the Xfinity Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. And Eddie was having a good time because if he was in Boston for the World Cup, he'd be rooting for Iraq because he rocks. I just made that up too. We're having a lot of fun. Michael,
I don't think Eddie would ever sink so low to use puns.
No. He was introducing a UFO cover band last night.
Of course.
Michael McCann is our go-to guy. He's everyone's go-to guy in Boston when it comes to matters of sports and legal issues. And he is got this article up on Sportico about something that we've been very interested in. And it's about the Brendan Sorsby situation. Brendan Sorsby is the quarterback that was set to play at Texas Tech. And he gambled on his own team at Indiana, which is, you're not allowed to do that. That's like the biggest thing you're not allowed to do. The NCAA said you can't play. They appealed. The attorney general in Texas said, I'm going to put an injunction on this. So that was going to allow him to play. The Big 12 got very upset. NCAA got very upset. And he decided there was too much gray area. So he said, I'm going to go to the supplemental draft. But not so fast, Michael McCann says. Michael McCann, thank you for joining us, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good morning. And that was a good Fonzie impersonation, too.
Thank you. Michael, he's workshopping it. We'd like to check back in with you in about a month to see how the character has evolved.
Michael, allow me some time in front of the mirror with a leather jacket on, and that's when I really think I'll grasp the character. Okay, so first, Michael, what happened just with the Texas Tech situation in general with the NCAA not being able to, keep McCann from playing this season if he wanted to? In the whole injunction process, and your thoughts on the attorney general getting involved and not wavering?
Yeah, basically, Sorsby was told you bet on your own team in 2022 when he played at Indiana. He has allegedly bet thousands of times at 3 different schools, including in Texas, where it's technically a crime to bet. So it's pretty serious allegations against him, and he went to court. And he said, well, wait a second, you're not really being fair to me. I have gambling disorder and also anxiety problems. He didn't feel like he was being given a fair shake by the NCAA. And he hired Jeffrey Kessler, who's probably the top sports litigator in the country. And I think, surprisingly to most of us, he got an injunction. He convinced a county judge that there was irreparable harm if he can't play this fall because he wouldn't be able to play in games that won't be replayed. And he got this court order that shocked everyone. And then at that point, the Big 12, the conference said, well, wait a second. Okay, you have a restraining order against the NCAA, but we can still punish you. And we can punish Texas Tech if they play you. And at that point, the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, threatened litigation of over $200 million. And then the Big 12 sort of one-upped everyone by filing a federal lawsuit against Texas Tech and Ken Paxton saying, if you want to do this, we'll go to federal court and let's see how this plays out. It's going to be a different form than county court. Basically, at that point, Texas Tech, I think, tells Sorsby in so many words, we can't really go through with this. Sorsby opts out of college and now is trying to get into the NFL.
Okay, so Texas Tech wavered, you're saying, a little bit?
I mean, we don't know that for sure, but the fact that Sorsby announced hours after Texas Tech was sued with a lawsuit that was pretty compelling. The lawsuit said in so many words, you, Texas Tech, can be punished by a conference. And Texas Tech knows that because they supported Baylor being punished by the Big 12 about a decade ago for Title IX and sexual assault allegations. So it put Texas Tech in a tough position where it doesn't want to be punished by the conference for playing Sorsby.
Does the fact that lawsuit was filed in federal court change it? We've been talking a little bit about that. I mean, is the notion of going into a courtroom without ceiling fans where you don't know
where they're not fanning themselves and wiping their brow.
You don't actually know the person you're standing in front of.
Exactly.
There's a young man in the courtroom today.
Yeah, where you don't know the judge's first
You don't
name.
play golf with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that also kind of play into this a little bit?
It does, and the judge is an antitrust expert, so it was the right judge for the kinds of claims that were brought. It really changed everything when the Big 12 did this, and it is a really different forum than a county judge who I don't know if was moved by the sort of local preferences for Texas Tech, but it's a different ball game before a federal judge. And it was a really serious lawsuit. I mean, I read it, I was like, wow, this is well argued. And my guess is Texas Tech figured we're not prepared to go against the conference because if we play this guy, we're going to get maybe wins vacated, maybe some other form of punishment. We know the NCAA is irate about this. Really, the whole college sports community was irate. I mean, the NCAA gets attacked all the time, but on this one, people were supporting the NCAA, and I think it just put Texas Tech in a tough spot.
Well, Michael, please let me know, Michael McCann, if anxiety gets you out of anything, because I'm scot-free. I think I have a pass to murder at that point. I just like that. That would cause me anxiety. Oh, well, you're the guy that gets that. Oh, you're a human being. You should be able to do whatever you want then. But anyway, go ahead, John.
I wanted to know, Michael, in your opinion, how much pressure was on both sides here? Because to me, this looks like a precedent-setting case for whoever wins this thing.
I think there is pressure, there is precedent. I think the issue next time there's an athlete in college, at least that's on sports, this is going to come up. And in a way, I mean, Sorsby leaves a legal winner, even if ultimately this wasn't a great outcome for him. He leaves a winner because the the judge in Texas essentially ruled for him,
right?
And he walks away at that point.
Okay, so he goes to enter the supplemental draft, but you say, Michael McCann, not so fast. There might be some issues with that.
Yeah, the big issue is the NFL has to say yes. The NFL doesn't have to hold a supplemental draft. It hasn't held a supplemental draft since 2023. It probably is going to have concerns about an athlete that bet on his own team, that apparently has bet all the time, that's being treated for betting. The league doesn't want to have an athlete in there who's in on bets. I think it's a valid concern for the NFL. Now, the NFL may just say, we'll let you in and let's see if a team drafts you, and the onus will fall on the team that picks you to make sure that you're being monitored. The NFL could also tell him, why don't you wait a year? Why don't you get your mental health issues and gambling addiction sorted out? Try again next year in the normal draft. But obviously Sorsby wants to get to the NFL and get paid. I mean, I understand why he would want to. There probably will be some teams that are interested in him because he's really good, save for this issue. But there's a risk. And some people have said, well, what about Kayshon Boutte? He got in trouble in Louisiana for betting. That's true, but that happened when he was on the Patriots. So he was already in the NFL.
Yeah.
He wasn't ineligible under NCAA rules. And that's a key distinction because if you remember Terrell Pryor back in 2011, he got in trouble with the NCAA, 5-game suspension. He goes to the NFL through the supplemental draft. Then he gets hit with a 5-game suspension from the NFL saying, you're really trying to circumvent NCAA rules by going to the league. They might do something here. So it's possible Sorsby could enter the NFL, but via a suspension or some other conditions.
Okay, so I have a macro question for you. The NFL is the ability to like go, hey kid, you're not coming in, and they have that together. Where does the NCAA have to go to have any kind of control? Because it's so lawless right now, and I'm not talking about kids getting paid or even transferring. Like literally, they can't enforce. It seems any kind of punishment if the courts rule that they don't want them to. So how does the NCAA get to a point where they can exert some control over the product?
It's hard because you're right. It's hard because the reality is that there are 50 states and you can find a judge in a state to play the local player. I mean, that is always the risk for the NCAA. The NCAA is lobbying Congress right now for legislation that would give them an antitrust exemption so that a lot of the lawsuits that they're facing would go off the board, including players whose eligibility has exhausted because they've been around college too long, and the NCAA says you have to leave. You're done. You're no longer a college athlete. There have been lawsuits over that. We saw a player, Charles Bediako, a former pro basketball player, get to play in several Alabama games, arguing he should be able to come back to make money. The antitrust exemption would get rid of a lot of those lawsuits, but not Sorsby's. I mean, this is the key thing, because Sorsby's claim was under Texas law. So even if Congress gives a federal antitrust exemption, that doesn't automatically extinguish potential contract claims under state law. So the short answer is the NCAA will likely have to keep litigating. I do think with Sorsby, the NCAA kind of won the public relations because people thought it was ridiculous. This guy bet on his own team. He bets all the time. Why would we want him playing? Why should he be eligible? In every sports league that we know of, if you bet, you get in trouble. So I think this lawsuit, even though technically NCAA lost at the trial court level, they kind of win in a way because most people found the outcome ridiculous.
I guess another macro question would be, is the NCAA equipped to handle all of this? It's so big. They have to do so much when you consider everything that falls under the umbrella of the NCAA. And as you keep adding things into the mix with the NIL and with the gambling stuff, are they able to sustain this going forward? Can they keep a handle on all this stuff?
I think they can, because I don't know what the alternative is. The alternative might be power conferences doing their own thing, right? So Southeastern Conference functions as a pro sports league. Maybe the Big 12 does as well. I mean, there are others that could potentially be like that, and maybe the athletes are employees and they form a union. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways of doing it. I don't know what that means for most colleges, though. I don't know what that means for like most colleges in New England, right, that are not at that caliber of athletics and probably will never be because of the amount of money it would take. I do think there's an argument that Division I is too big, that these power conferences really are like pro leagues, whereas most of college sports isn't. And separating the two might make more sense than the way the NCAA has it set up.
Oh, yeah. And that takes away a little bit of the fun because you don't get the underdog coming in.
But you also kind of dispense with this notion of having a student athlete in this whole charade that we're dealing with. I mean, and it would be weird, though, Michael, if you just did it for Division I football. Well, maybe basketball also, but certainly football would be the one that is.
Well, basketball ruins the tournament. Like, if you do it in basketball, they need it more than anything. They need these mid-majors to have a chance.
Right.
And by the way, these mid-major schools aren't rinky-dink schools either. Like, that's the thing. And Michael, you know this too. Like sure, there's like Alabama and Ohio State, but it's not like for instance, like Western Michigan is this like small ass school they have a big endowment, and not like those schools, but they're legit D1 MAC conference schools. You know what I'm saying? God, Michael. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The basketball is where the Cinderella story is. It kind of makes the magic of the tournament. if there's a way for the NCAA to thread the needle to spin off football from other sports, there probably would make a lot of sense in terms of the setup, because right now it's kind of a joke, right?
It's a joke, yeah.
It's like, what schools have a legitimate chance? It's a handful, and it's not the vast majority, and that's not going to change. And people say, well, it's NIL, it's, players getting paid. This is how it's been way before NIL.
You're right.
It's not like this is some new thing. So maybe a more reality-based approach would make sense.
All right. Well, Michael McCann, that was great stuff, and a wonderful article at Sportico. And thank you so much for coming in and giving us some knowledge of the situation.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
I appreciate it. There you go. I liked Michael McCann.
It was great stuff. It's not aging Fonzie great, but, for, grown-up stuff. What's wrong, Fonz?
I can't hold my tools. My arthritis.
See?
Jenny Piccolo died.
I don't think they were together at any
Of what?
point.
Old age.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Ralph, I'm over here. Your cataracts. You don't got it.
I understand.
Okay,
I get it.
Have you visited Podsy? What do you mean? Hospice. See, they're all old.
Is it still a sitcom?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a Golden Girls thing.
It's in reality. This is ripped from the script.
Yeah, like Fonzie, has erectile aids and stuff. He snaps his fingers and gets a boner.
He's got what?
Did you remember to take your pills, Fonz?
He just snaps his fingers, and the pills. He doesn't need pills. He just snaps his fingers.
Everyone else does. Okay.
You're like, Fonzie, how are you? At Arnold's, you're servicing all these women, and he just snaps his fingers and he gets an erection. That's what he uses his power.
You said
for.
erectile AIDS, and I didn't know you meant like actual apparatus. I thought you meant it was a certain disease. I'm like, okay, now I get it.
We're past disease. No, he punches his penis like the jukebox, and then it gets erect.
Okay.
Is he dating geriatrics, or is he still dating young women?
Well, I mean, at his age, 60 is young.
Sure.
I mean, he's not gross about it.
Right.
I mean, he's Fonzie,
Fonzie was always kind of the woke one, too, when it came to the crew.
He was friends with Styx.
Does he now, in his old age, does he start swinging the other direction?
Good question. Very good question.
Does he start getting a little more
I like that. Let's hear what happens now.
In his advancing years?
He's like, Biden didn't win the election. Like, get it. Hey, Al. Original Al, Pat Marietta. Get out of here. You don't belong here.
Right.
Show your papers. Hey, keep America for America. Hey.
So elderly Fonz is working at the garage, because when we last saw him, he was a teacher at the end of Happy Days.
Yeah, they've kind of forgotten that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was
not all aspects of previous plots will be honored in this reboot.
We're only going Ron Howard era.
I got it. All right.
Happy Days, and maybe not the end of that. Okay. He's like, oh no, Morkstead. Real life crossover.
Wow.
Very meta.
Yeah. All right. We will be back in just a moment with our award-winning email segment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
Big day.
We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Oh, it is time for the email segment, and if you want to email us, just get an AOL account, you turkey, and pop it on in. But now when I tell people I have a Yahoo account, they make fun of me for being old.
Nah, Yahoo doesn't pop out at me as much as AOL or Hotmail. Still see a few Hotmails laying around, I think.
Well, I think that we run in older circles because anytime I give my email address to anyone under the age of, let's say 45, they give me quite the business about having a Yahoo account. But it's like I've had it for so long. I mean, how else am I going to find out about the Tennessee real estate market for no reason?
You don't want to lose all those contacts.
Absolutely. I mean, I've acquired quite a bit of very important people into that Yahoo account.
Yeah.
I will tell you this first. The email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you have to get Glassman. You got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens. It's 617 7 7 7 7777. It's such an easy number I can even screw up the cadence. It's all sevens except for the 6 at the front. Or visit gottagetglassman.com.
It's 61.
Oh,
6177777.
Whatever. 617, baby. It's legit Boston code. Go ahead. You got you want to go first? Or
Can
what?
someone please, all caps, tell Fred the saying is, I couldn't care less, not I could care less. That would mean he does care. And for someone who cares so little about everything and uses this saying multiple times a show, he ought to know the truth.
I don't even care if I say it right.
Could you care less?
Yep.
See? So you do care.
Okay, so I just am annoyed at the amount of local news coverage the World Cup is getting. And the tipping point for me was they did a story on people in Walpole, Christian Gonzalez being one of them, allowing people to park on their lawns during the World Cup. Kyle says those yards are on the Route 1 area in Walpole, and they're the ones right next to Gillette and have been doing it for years for Patriots games.
Yeah, true.
So, right. So what's the deal? Jeremy, who's a good emailer.
Although I thought the Crafts did like a crackdown on that. Like that.
Well, that is their business. I mean, if someone's using their own property.
Maybe it's not the Crafts. Maybe it's some other Patriot-like entity. But, the unofficial tailgates that were going on in certain places, you see fewer of those.
Well, good. It's about time corporations started cracking down on individuals trying to make a little bit of money because of the unfortunate location of their home. Good for the I'm always team corporation on that.
The neighborhood gets wrecked rates.
Kraft doesn't have enough money. You don't go pick on the people that live around the stadium. You decrease their home values.
Have events like this. It's an extra 5 or 6 days.
I don't know what they gain from it either. And this is all like second-hand information. But I do have a friend who will go on record saying so. They used to host a big tailgate at a storage unit on Route 1. Mm-hmm. And they would keep all of the tailgate supplies in this storage unit, and they would just roll up the door, pull out the tables, and they had all the stuff. It was a pretty sweet setup.
And they paid for the storage unit, which is a local business.
Paid for the storage unit, and someone, they believe, Patriots related, bought the storage unit and said, no more tailgates here.
That's good.
How does that benefit the team by making you tailgate like on Gillette Stadium parking?
Maybe because they need the $30.
Yeah.
If they don't get the $30 8 times a year, how the hell are they supposed to make any money? I mean, they're trying to gain the system by not paying the $30.
But that's the same guy who did the workaround. They bought the shipping container. Have I ever showed you the pictures of this?
No.
Oh, it's a legit from China, ginormous on a shipping container, and completely gutted it and tricked it out. So when you open the doors and fold things, there's a bar, there's a pool table, there's chairs and tables, and they plant that thing in a parking lot that is not yet been purchased by anyone from the team.
They dropped it like in the parking lot forever,
and they went to the owner and said, "Hey, we want to keep this shipping container here, and we guarantee the people who are here for it. The people are already tailgating in this parking lot." And the guy charges them some nominal amount of rent to keep the shipping container in the back corner of the parking lot.
See, that's what's the best about the NFL is that, like, if you go that deep into the tailgating, the most fun I ever had a game was in Kansas City, and this guy, and I'm sure you've seen this before, it's not novel, but the guy had tricked out a school bus. Like, he had taken everything out of the school bus, and he had, I have a picture of it, he has, like, 5 kegs that from the outside that you got the beer from the outside. The taps are on the outside of the bus, and they were like, because so many people were involved in, like, it was split so many ways that they were like really cool, and they just let us hang out with them because what was it to them? And that is a lot of fun. My parents had that when they were younger in Pittsburgh when they first moved there. Jeremy with about jiu-jitsu. Which we did a segment where Hardy quizzed me on ways to grind and make your life better, which included cold plunging and jiu-jitsu. And Jeremy says, rich guys needing to feel masculine do jiu-jitsu as a way of pretending they're in Fight Club without having to get punched in the face. All the fun of being in a fight without the feeling of being in any real danger. I do question, like, if you're super rich, why you would need to know jiu-jitsu, in that if you fought anyone, win or lose, you lose because they're going to sue you for millions of dollars. Now, this has to be read. Eddie Trunk question. I haven't even read it yet.
All right, good.
But let's do it.
All right.
Hey, fellas. I don't know why they included you two yahoos on this. Serious question here. We all know Eddie Trunk likes to rock, but does he not? I can't believe how much we talk about Eddie Trunk, or I do. But he does not play any instruments. So instead of playing, he is, quote unquote, hosting rock concerts weekly, typically in small clubs in random cities. He's not the promoter or a performer, just the host. I've been to hundreds of small club shows, and never do they have someone introducing the acts. What's the purpose of this? Matt, I could give you a funny answer. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know why it behooves a UFO cover band playing in central Illinois to fly Eddie Trunk in to introduce it. I guess he promotes it on his show, but how many people in central Illinois?
So how many more $5 covers are you going to get as a result of Eddie Trunk being there?
Yeah, like they did that guitar contest by Fenway that Nick went to. And, like, I don't know what Eddie Trunk, like, paying him, because they flew in, like, real guitar players. Like, they weren't famous, but whatever, in that community, I guess people know them. I told you they wore floppy hats and scarves on the plane and took a picture of themselves. They dressed like Faster Pussycat on the plane, which for some reason enrages me. Like, oh, you're not old. You have a floppy hat and a scarf on. And so anyway, I don't know why you pay and fly Eddie Trunk in to just go like, hey, I'm a guy no one's ever heard of. I'm going to talk. I don't get it. Now, when we did rock radio, the radio station would be promoting the concerts. So, like, they didn't really want the DJ there. It was kind of like what the radio station got for helping promote the concert. And that was a radio station that, in theory, like 200,000 people listen to. And, so that's actual good promotion for the show. But never was I under any impression when I probably did this close to 1,000 than not times. I never one time got the impression like, all right, Fred, this crowd really wants to hear it from you.
Yeah, exactly.
like really do it a good, even dumb and drunk. I never went, yeah. Like, this is about me.
Because you immediately, even if you have that notion for a second that you're going to get up there and kill it, you meet the eyes of that one person who absolutely despises the fact that you're on stage speaking.
Well,
and you find that, and it's almost always more than one person, but you find them. You find them in the crowd, the ones, just giving you the death stare.
So when I was a junior in high school, I had to give a presentation in history class, and I shook so bad because I was so nervous. The teacher told me to calm down. He's like, calm down.
Yeah.
And then in college, I would get it. That scared me so much that in college, in the few times I had to do oral presentations, I wouldn't hold the paper because I would get so nervous.
You'd be shaking the paper.
Right. So, which I think is fairly common, but I had it bad, and so people would go like, "How did you talk in front of that many people?" Like one of the first crowd introductions I ever did was in front of 100,000 people for Creed, and the thing is, I could have said anything. I could have fallen down and died. And I'm not exaggerating. No one would care. So you talk about seeing the eyes of the person. The utter indifference. Like, I could have said anything. There was no, like, people weren't taping you. Like, I could have gone up there and really, like, whipped it out. And the only danger would have happened if a cop happened to be backstage and arrested me. Like, no one would have cared. They're paying zero attention to you.
Well, huge crowds like that are almost easier because it's not it doesn't feel personal.
Right, exactly.
And it's kind of like an out-of-body experience when you get on stage in front of that many people.
So I definitely had a fear of public speaking, but I think introducing bands and just seeing how much, in reality, people just don't care about you kind of got me over all of that. And then I just started to realize, like, no one cares about anything, right? Like, so, like, when you're standing in front of someone and talking, they just want you to stop. So, like, if you're at a wedding giving a toast, all they want it to do is end. Like, they don't go, like, there might be one guy that's like, but, like, when someone's talking at a wedding or doing something like that, all you're thinking is shut up.
Yeah. Well, I got over that fear at an early age as a 3-time winner of the Optimist Club speech contest.
Wow. I couldn't have done that.
First 8th grader to ever win the competition going up against high schoolers. Won it again in 9th grade and 10th grade.
Where's that trophy?
He ended up at Michigan State University.
Where's that trophy?
They're medals. I'll bring them in tomorrow, smartass.
You still have the medals?
Yes.
How about that? I'm surprised they're not under glass.
No.
Must be nice to have a medal.
I still wear them.
Why wouldn't you? It's like you run the marathon.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wear it forever.
Hey, is there a jacket?
Wear it to kindergarten soccer. Like every jackass parent you never see again.
I still remember the topic from year one. Optimism, a way of life.
Which seems like you.
Odd. I was going to say, odd, you haven't followed that philosophy.
You were was it a debate club and you were counter
forced to take the opposing side.
No debate, just give a speech. It's like Robin Williams in Best of Times when he remembers his 5th grade essay that won.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember it. America, my friend.
Hardy's speech on optimism was,
don't do it.
No, it was just like, dude, we're all dying.
That's right.
What's it matter? You might as well enjoy the ride.
Right. No one knows when their time is up.
Like I have this friend died at 12, hit by a car. What do you think? You look back and he goes, "Oh boy, I should have been less optimistic." You got nothing to lose. You're just gonna end up dead. There's no afterlife.
You have some kind of video of that speech? I'd really like to see it.
No, but I remember I quoted some inspirational posters. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it. These were the nuggets and the pearls that I dropped into my speech. That, once again, won. Optimism. It truly is a way of life.
Yeah.
Well, if I would have known that club existed, I would have been petrified of being involved in it at any point because I would have shaken the whole time because I was such a basket case. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports.
What's going on?
We have an auction going on from the Hollywood and Entertainment Signature Collection, a lightsaber immortalized in a pivotal scene from Star Wars, costumes from The Wizard of Oz and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We'll just start with the lightsaber here. Bidding on the lightsaber, which has never been auctioned before, will open at what?
How is this possible that there's still crap from Star Wars that hasn't been auctioned off?
Mark Hamill needs money?
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't even own it. Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker custom design prop in his Cloud City fight in The Empire Strikes Back. Okay? This is from the I Am Your No, Luke, I Am Your Father scene. How much does the bidding open at?
Have you ever seen the behind the scenes photo of that? It's so unimpressive. They're like 5 feet in the air with all these mattresses under it.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's just like you would assume that's what they did, but it takes a little bit of the magic away.
Yeah.
It's a starting bid, or how much did it go for?
No. It's never been auctioned before,
Okay,
and
so
the bidding is going to open at what?
Oh, okay. So I think you make it somewhat realistic. So $50,000.
I was going to say 25.
How about $1 million?
Oh my God!
This isn't being negative. It's by the way, $50,000 is will be the opening bid for the brown top hat worn by Gene Wilder in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
which is everyone's favorite movie. Can I ask you this? Do you get why people want this isn't dependent on Star Wars or anything. Why people want stuff like this, like a guitar that Kurt Cobain played. Do you understand like the wanting to even own that possession?
If it's a one of one, yeah.
Okay, but why? Like what does that, like, if you own it and you have it, and like what about that gives you pleasure?
It's just the fact that it is the actual thing from something that you love and you get to show it off. A lot of people just get a lot of joy from showing off things like that.
Okay. I've never really, and I've wanted to, but like I always tell the story at least once, is that on Instagram, the Beastie Boys were auctioning off a Paul's Boutique album. And I think Paul's Boutique is probably my favorite record of all time. It was a gold album. And it was like $1,000. Like you could have had it for like $1,000.
Yeah.
And I went and I started to buy it. And then I went and I thought, like, not only is it not the $1,000, it wasn't even the $1,000. It was just like, why do I want this? Like, I didn't earn it. Like,
it's got nothing to do with me other than I like it.
Yeah, and I just like the record. Like, why do I need this gold album?
Yeah.
I almost wish I did, like, see the value in those things. I know that it's worth money and stuff, and, like, I have baseball cards and things of that nature, but it's more because my son likes flipping them. But I never really understood, like, Jim Irsay's collection of stuff. Like, it's cool to go to a museum and see, like, you know, the original Declaration of Independence, but I don't know, like, if I would need to own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't know what me owning it.
Well, that's just it. This awesome thing that people love and everyone knows what it is. What is it? It's mine. That's what it is.
Right. I suppose it's like they touched it and now, like, I'm touching it, which requires, I guess, more imagination than I possess.
You can also buy Otto the Autopilot from Airplane.
The inflatable thing?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, that seems
and
like
Paul
a wise
Newman's
investment.
hockey jersey from Slapshot, a movie that 100% holds up. Go home and watch it today. Oh, it's fantastic, start to finish.
Well,
Same goes for Caddyshack. Still holds up every single second of it.
Well, Caddyshack's a lot better than Slapshot.
I agree, but don't.
Yeah. I understand why people like Slapshot because, like, the small, not a lot of hockey films to choose from.
Yeah.
And especially at the time. That's probably it, right? Like, at the time?
Yeah, there was no other hockey movie at the time.
Yeah, like, that's the early 70s, right?
It took at least 10 or 15 years for another one.
Yeah, the characters aren't funny. Like the guy who can't speak English isn't funny. The guys with the glasses aren't funny.
By the way, if you wanted something,
sure they are.
something funny that you could like hang on a wall if you had a huge room, this is actually kind of funny. The 2 rugs from the Big Lebowski. The bidding on those starts at $15,000 each.
Okay, I've only seen the Big Lebowski once,
But
so
that would be at least
a conversation piece.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, there's people that have $1 trillion now. I guess you could buy 7 of those Wookiee things or whatever and not have to worry about it.
Wookiee things.
The Wookiee thing.
All right. That'll do it for us.